3, 2, 1.
All right.
Great. You have a very, maybe it's just the microphone, but it sounds like you just have this iron clap.
Well, I've been clapping for a really long time, so I'm very experienced.
But why did you wear the iron gauntlets to a podcast recording?
It's so loud.
A full suit of armor.
It's cool. Don't get me wrong. It looks awesome.
Our most badass guest by a country mile.
Have you ever been to like a really great show where the clapping just goes on forever and you're like, I'm so tired. I can't clap anymore.
It's called the German Theater.
Oh,
yes,
God.
AJ and I have seen plenty of German musical theater, and what they love to do over there is actually called the iron clap, where for the last encore, and I did this, I also did a choir tour in Germany when I was in high school, so they did this for us a couple times, no big deal. But the whole idea is they won an encore, and so instead of shouting encore, they all start clapping in unison until you get back on the stage and sing another fucking song.
But in unison? That's so weird.
In unison. Yeah, and you know when Germans do something in unison, nothing bad is going to happen.
Nope.
So many possible worlds, but we got this one. So many possible worlds, but we got this one.
Welcome to the Worst of All Possible Worlds, the first and only German podcast. I am the worst of all possible AJs.
I am the worst of all possible Brians.
And I'm the worst of all possible Joshes. And we are back for yet another week of Whit's Endless Summer, our ongoing sub-series in which we talk about episodes of the Christian children's radio drama Adventures in Odyssey. I almost said Focus on the Family just now because that's the org that produces it. They're Evangelical Christian. They've been around for a long time, and their founder is a man known as James Dobson.
Oh, I like him.
Yeah, you like him?
Yeah, I like him a
Got some
lot.
bad news for you, Brian. Got some real bad news.
We've got somebody joining us this week who we're absolutely thrilled to welcome to the show.
Yeah.
She is the co-host of a podcast called, would you believe it, I Hate James Dobson.
Oh, no.
And every other week, you can hear her being exposed to the deepest, darkest recesses of the mind of James Dobson by her co-host, Jake. She is also a practicing therapist, and we are beyond thrilled to welcome her to the show. Brooke, hello.
Hello. I'm so excited to be here.
Before we dig into Adventures in Odyssey, as we are wont to do, have you ever heard any episodes of the show? Or was this your first exposure?
I have heard the Dungeons and Dragons episode because we did it on our podcast. And I
Love
was
castles
like,
and cauldrons.
yeah,
I'll praise Shalman.
yeah, that's right. It was like bewildering. I was confused. Jake talks about it a lot. And it's a radio show, right?
Right.
Yes, it is a radio show. There were a handful of cartoons. There's an animated movie coming out this year, possibly.
Brian has watched it.
Yeah, for the most part, it is a radio show that has over 1,000 episodes and has been running nonstop since 1987 with no signs of ending.
I will say I'd never heard of it before our podcast.
I'm surprised you haven't heard of a hit radio show in the modern day.
Yeah,
You never been to a Chick-fil-A?
Like, I am significantly older than Jake, and I was never listening to radio shows as a child, so I don't know what is going on.
Back in my day, we listened to The Shadow and War of the Worlds.
The Colgate Comedy Hour.
Little Orphan Annie, how's she gonna get out of this one?
That is the difference between you and then me and Brian. We both did listen to this show on the radio growing up, unfortunately. The reason we talk about Adventures in Odyssey time and time again is that it just provides such a strange, I think, window into the priorities of the Evangelical Christian project, as well as how they communicate the messaging that they want to get across to kids. It's essentially a propaganda machine, one of many that they have, but one that's very effective as well. A lot of people who come on board and listen to our show even are like, wow, I remember Adventures in Odyssey from when I was a kid, and I thought it was so fun. And now I'm listening to it, and this is completely fucked.
Well, can I tell you, I listened to these episodes this morning, and I texted Jake, and I was like, I gotta tell you, Adventures in Odyssey kind of slaps. And then like a half hour later, I wrote back and I was like, never mind.
Just kidding.
No.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Brian has set you kind of up for failure here because the strongest episode we listened to for this batch was the first one.
Oh, I don't know about that.
You actually had my desired reaction. I was like, I want to send episodes to Brooke that are like, okay. And then by the end, she's like, oh, God damn it.
The best is I took several pages of notes for each episode. But then for the last one, I just wrote something computers.
Yeah.
I was like, what are they doing? I lost the thread on the Bible message during the last one.
Now, Brooke, did you grow up with any sort of religious upbringing or faith background? Or
Not really. My parents were divorced, and my dad was Episcopalian, and he would go to church semi-regularly and take us when we were visiting him, but it wasn't really a part of our lives. And always, since I was very little, I was like, well, this is not real, but it makes my dad happy, so that's fine.
Okay.
And then my mom and my stepdad, who I really grew up with, were like proud. Well, my stepdad was proud, like atheists. So that was my growing up.
I've heard from your show you have encountered some Christian entertainment over the years. For a while, you watched like the Duggars on TV and things like that.
Yes. The Duggars were like in my reality show, like the Wild West of reality TV in the early aughts, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then the thing I talk about a lot is in college, my friend and I discovered TBN. We would like get stoned and watch TBN.
Yeah, baby.
Let's go.
And so like a lot of the people from that show, I'm sort of like, I get the gist of it. Like, riding around on gold thrones in the back of like a wagon. It was wild.
Yeah, it's always funny listening to your show because you bring up Jan Crouch all the time.
God. Smile of a child.
Like icon.
Yes.
She's
loved
so
her.
camp. TBN, for those not familiar, is a Christian television network. I think it's the biggest religious television network in the world.
TBN stands for Trinity Broadcasting Network.
Right.
Most recently, it hosted the Kid Rock halftime show for the Super Bowl.
They did. They hosted
I
that.
can't believe that's still
The
around.
Crouches are dead, so they've lost a lot of their like discretion, I feel.
Yeah, there's
but
really nothing. TBN isn't really particularly Christian in any meaningful way anymore.
Mostly just
like,
a right-wing thing.
It's just
now,
a right-wing network, essentially, that uses a Christian sort of aesthetic.
Yeah, but like TBN had such a style to it. There was a camp that TBN had, like the set design, the fact that they'd always have Mr. T and Sting the wrestler on there.
And Jan Crouch would have like 19 wigs stacked up on her head.
Yes.
And then you could not, she was indecipherable age. You had no idea how old she was. And she would say things like, I remember she gave a tour of the gift shop once and she held up something that said, Jesus loves you. And she was like, my favorite quote from the Bible. And I was like, what? Jesus loves you? I don't know what. It was
I'm gonna need the
funny.
passage number there. I think citation needed.
But she would like every once in a while she would like give a little hint into her life before finding Jesus, and it would be like, I was in a trailer doing drugs. Like,
it's
you're like,
dark.
tell me more. Yeah.
I want to see it.
But yeah, like the thing that separates this from TBN, from God's Not Dead, from like a lot of the modern Christian movie stuff is like, this is often pretty good.
Yeah.
There is a standard of quality. They hire some absolute top of the line actors, and they're more concerned with telling a story over everything else, which is why it gets really exciting when the weird shit gets in.
Yeah. I would like to disagree with you there, Brian, on it being mostly pretty good.
I saw you perk
That
up
is,
the moment Brian said that.
I said in comparison
In
to
comparison,
to
okay,
all
yes,
of this other
okay.
stuff, you know.
Fair enough.
I have a theater background, and I was listening to this,
Welcome.
and I was like, oh, these actors aren't terrible, right? Like it's not like. And then I remembered that I have so many friends who like do this stuff all the time, who have no connection to religion at all. I have a friend who just kind of vaguely looks like Jesus, so he gets like hired to be in all these things all the time, you know. And I was like, oh yeah, they're just people hanging out.
So they don't do some sort of like spiritual litmus test for casting people. They're more interested in casting good actors.
Which is very interesting, considering how there have been multiple labor-related issues around their hiring practices. Because when it comes to people just like working at their organization, they exercise extreme discrimination.
I just saw a job listing for Focus on the Family for Adventures in Odyssey. They're looking for like a new apprentice,
Incredible.
post-production guy, an editing guy. So of course I was looking for work, and no, but I read the listing, and some of the demands that they have of their regular employees, which they would by union regulations not be able to impose on their actors, are stuff like you have to pledge to pray for all the staff at Focus on the Family.
What?
And you have to do it's like all of these demands, and it's like high stress work environment. You have to keep a cheerful attitude, blah, 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 blah. Pays $18 an hour, not full time, but you do get a free LifeLock subscription.
Oh my God. Sounds like every nonprofit I ever worked for.
How do they enforce the prayer is my question.
They're in your head.
Yeah, they just have a little camera in your bedroom. They're like, you better kneel over that bed and pray for mommy and daddy and everybody at Focus on the Family.
And James Dobson's ghost.
Yeah.
Who haunts us all.
He will dare to discipline you from beyond the grave. Yes!
He lives inside your holy bone.
Oh.
Oh God, Holy Bone is there have been times where we just lost it and so much of it's not even on there. I was crying. Jake didn't even realize how funny it was until I was weep laughing. I'm like, what do you mean?
I don't even remember
Bone?
what the context of Holy Bone was. Can you remind me? This is something from I Hate James Dobson, to be clear.
One of James Dobson's creepy, body focused things. And it was about the sacrum, right? And how precious the sacrum is. And he referred to it as the Holy Bone. And James Dobson has this way of saying things that are so creepy.
Yes.
One of the things we quote a lot, because if you can see it in person, Jake shivers every time, is he talks about mouth to breast a lot, which is so disgusting. I was like, ew, it's so gross. But yeah, that was the Holy Bone. My God.
I'm just reading here that the fetish of nipple play is dead now. I don't.
It's over.
I just got this in from facts.
James killed it.
Boobs are out!
Can you believe that James Dobson died right when we started recording? I mean, what great timing. I was like...
I thought you were going to say, can you believe James Dobson died sucking on a titty?
Yeah, he died from nipple play. It was
He suffocated.
all the blood went to his holy bone and he died.
That's right. We couldn't have asked for better branding. We were like, well, thank you, James Dobson.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the episodes. I also tried to pick stuff today that we might be able to reflect on a little bit with you and your profession as a therapist, Brooke, and the way that people handle difficult emotions and challenging situations, and how Adventures in Odyssey says you should handle them instead.
Oh, I have a note, especially about the first one, or just emotions at all.
Can you trust them?
Nope.
Damn.
If you're confused about all the references we're making to this other podcast, listen to it. It's good.
Listen to it. Listen to me get tortured for years and years.
That's right. If you enjoy Brooke getting tortured on our show, there's a whole other show you can listen to where she gets that done as well. Yeah, so this first episode, right? This is episode 317, BTV Envy. This is a Phil Lawler classic.
Yeah. Of course it is.
And it originally aired on June 3, 1995.
Yeah, we've gone back in time a little bit. We have to explore BTV a little bit because this factors into the Novacom saga, which we'll touch on at the end of this episode. BTV started as this episode called I Want My BTV, where Bernard goes to the local access station and they're like, we don't want to show kids shows about dinosaurs. That shit sucks and it's ungodly. Well, we need something. And Bernard's like, he's a local, he calls himself a janitor, but he owns a business where
he's a small business owner.
Yeah, he's like he does corporate window washing deals and things like that.
Does some weird things with squeegees, as we'll find out in future episodes.
So into that shit, yeah.
This is a recurring theme in this show, is that the men in this show who you're supposed to look up to the most are all local small business tyrants.
Yes.
And he's one of them.
Yep. So Bernard creates this show where he teaches kids biblical principles using sketches. Now, there are other episodes of the show that also do sketch comedy for biblical principles for kids radio, another part of Adventures in Odyssey. But BTV is just one of them. And it's led, of course, by Bernard, played by Dave Madden, formerly of The Partridge Family and Laugh In. They've continued this idea since Dave Madden passed away with a series called Knocks on X, Knocks on Money, Knocks on whatever, with Gregory Jabara, Broadway's Gregory Jabara, as a pastor, Wilson Knox, who has a podcast. So that's what the 2020s version of BTV is. So the show always gets a little bit meta. They're kind of drawing from Rocky and Bullwinkle and Fractured Fairy Tales. So let's just listen to the opening of how they start this episode, Envy.
Hi, I'm Bernard Walton, and coming up on BTV, we've got an incredible show for you, and an important subject to talk about. To start off, Sam Johnson is going to go to the...
Hold everything.
Courtney, I'm taping a promo. What's going on?
This is going to be another one of those shows where Sam gets to do all the fun and exciting stuff, isn't it?
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, come on. I want his part.
Courtney, have you read this week's show?
No, but it doesn't matter. I know he'll get to do the fun stuff and I'll get stuck in the studio. I want his part.
Okay, Courtney. I'll just cross out his name and write yours. There. Are you happy?
Yes.
Can I tape this now?
Sure.
Well, thank you. Okay, guys, let's try it again.
Right. And we're rolling. This is BTV promo, take 2, action.
Hi, I'm Bernard Walton, and coming up on BTV, we've got an incredible show for you. An important subject to talk about. To start off, Courtney Vincent is going to the dentist to get a tooth pulled.
What?
Oh, look at that. She got too envious.
Courtney should take a break,
Yeah.
I feel.
Yeah. Damn.
Bernard not beating the sexism allegations is what I'll say.
No, but that kid got fucking chastened and owned, which is a very common thing in this show. By the way, Brian, can you play the clip of that theme song again? What fucking video game does this remind me of? It has been driving me up a wall.
I think it's Wii Sports Resort.
It's not Wii
I
Sports
think so,
Resort.
too.
It's not Wii Sports
Is
Resort.
it Mario Golf for the Nintendo 64?
It might be Mario Golf. I don't know.
Wings? I don't know.
There is a Nintendo game that has a theme song that sounds so similar to this, and I need to know what it is. If you know, sound off in the comments, please.
Yeah, Josh was like freaking out about this yesterday. He was apoplectic, and I was like, well, we can just crowdsource this, Josh.
Yeah.
I, the reasonable man, as always, was like,
As
we can
always,
just,
the level-headed
we can
one,
just pass this on to our friends and loved ones
That's
who,
right.
who
In
give
the
us money to
comments.
listen to the podcast.
That's right.
Yeah.
If it helps, it goes kind of like that's the song.
Okay, folks. Well, get on that. Weirdly, they do this sketch twice. So Courtney complains about Sam Johnson getting to do everything, and then we get into the show, and the announcer for the show also complains.
Yeah.
Rule of twos, Brian. Rule of twos.
They're really trying to show us envy.
It's been around forever.
I like that the announcer sounds like God. Like, what is going
Yeah,
on?
here's what the announcer sounds like.
That was just a way for us to introduce the subject we're going to talk about on today's show. Can you guess what that subject is?
Today's subject is envy.
Thanks a lot. I said I wanted them to guess.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. You see, envy is
It's just that I usually have so little to do on the show. Not like Sam Johnson.
And the reason that sounds like God, AJ, is because it's Corey Burton, who they use as the voice of God, like, all the time.
Thank you. Thank you. There's a durational bit to be mined here. I think about this like announcer's obsession with how much Sam gets like more things than him.
Yeah.
Like you could make this funny. They chose not to.
Yeah,
it
there's
seems.
something very strange about the fact that I don't think Sam Johnson's even in the episode.
No, he's not.
I didn't even put that together, but oh my God.
It's like dad jokes. Like big time dad jokes. I was like, oh, there's so much like dad energy in this. Like,
Yeah, but there's not even like puns in the same way. I associate so many dad jokes with like really bad groaner kind of puns.
Oh.
And these just kind of lie there like a dead fish for
Well,
the most
AJ,
part.
I'm so glad you mentioned this because there's a clip from the very first BTV episode, I Want My BTV, that has a whole bunch of biblical jokes that are all puns.
Who was the smallest man in the Bible? Nehemiah? Nope. Bildad the Shuhite? Nope. Then who? It was the Apostle Peter. He slept on his wife.
yeah, it's like, well, it's really funny. We'll talk about this later. But at first I was like, oh, okay, this is like for little kids, like little kid jokes that you would see on kids shows.
Yeah.
But then later when we have a whole domestic violence scene, I was like, well, maybe not.
Yeah.
The target audience for this show ostensibly is 8 to 10-year-olds. Around this time, they kind of age it up. But then they also have like stories about spy agencies and biological terrorism
and the NSA.
Full arcs that are just like romance sagas that have no children in them whatsoever.
But that's because they are writing sort of the stuff that they have always wanted to write, and they don't have another venue to pursue those stories.
Yeah, because the writing is so bad.
And that's what kind of made it cool for me as a kid, you know?
Right.
That's what made it so much better than watching Gerbert tapes or the Hanna-Barbera stories of the Bible cartoons.
I mean, it's one of those things that it's like whenever you hear about like Ben Shapiro's like other writing endeavors and how they're all like basically action screenplays that he's like turned into novels. And because he is himself a failed screenwriter, I feel like all the Odyssey people tried it in Hollywood, got burned. And now they're writing for this and they're always a little bit envious.
Oh, interesting.
Hollywood brethren. Yeah. And it's also why LA gets shit on all the time in these episodes.
Are you telling me that maybe Phil Lawler is not the best person to be lecturing others on how they shouldn't be envious?
I'm going to quote Phil Lawler here and say, no.
Hey, that's his famous line. We go to another sketch. I originally did clip this and then I deleted it because it was too fucking long. But it's an Oprah parody hosted by someone named Opera Heraldahue.
Oh.
Get it?
Got it.
I mean, yeah.
But it's less Oprah and more like
Jerry.
Springer.
It felt more Jerry to me.
Well, that's what the Heraldahue is there for. You got Donahue and Geraldo.
Right.
Well, and Oprah used to be a little bit more trashy.
Yeah, definitely.
This one, what they do is they do a Cain and Abel episode. So they have Adam and Eve as the weeping parents on stage, and then they call in and they talk to Cain on the phone because of course he's in exile in the land of Nod.
Yeah, Cain dials in from the land of Nod, which is almost a joke.
It's all like they don't present it as a joke. It's really just they just expect the presentation itself to be funny enough.
Right.
But it's played too straight.
It makes sense that it was 95 because the Disney accent rules apply here, which is like if you're a villain or a woman or just not the lead, you're or a fool, you have the accents, right? Everyone else, no.
Yep.
I was like, oh, this is at one point I was like, oh, diversity. No, this is just
no. You either have dipshit voice or you're like just a flaming queen, basically.
Or like a lot of New York and then randomly some Irish. I was like, okay, yep, all right.
Well, we'll hear it a little bit later. We'll hear some like very Jewish inflected accents this episode.
Yeah, but Eve is from the South, I noticed.
Yes. Eve is like, oh no, I ate the apple because the snake told me I'd be like God.
What's the point of this, by the way? This whole
it's a story about envy, right? Because Cain
was
envied
Abel, of course. Yeah,
and he killed him.
It's the oldest envy story. Yeah.
Yeah. But like that story is kind of funny. There is stuff like God shows up and he's like, "Where's your brother?" Like he doesn't know. And Cain's like, "I don't know. Is it my fucking job to take care of him?" And God's like, "You killed him, didn't you?" And he's like, "Yeah." But we don't get any of that in this sketch.
But I feel like Adventures in Odyssey would never do it that way because that would be a little bit too disrespectful of the source material as they see it.
But this is also pretty disrespectful, and that's what's
because we're gonna get to David here, King David and Uriah the Hittite, which is a much darker story.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
When you factor everything in, I always thought it was crazy that VeggieTales did a David and Bathsheba
God, they did.
video.
They sure did.
They reworked it to be about King David wanting the rubber ducky of Junior the asparagus. And he already has 100 rubber duckies in a closet, but he wants that one. After seeing Junior in the bathtub from his window, that's not great.
That's not ideal. That's just a small broccoli boy.
He was sprinkling olive oil on himself, threw some salt on there.
No, we can't keep doing this. I don't like this. I'm moving on.
He's gonna be delicious, Brian. He's a broccoli.
He's an asparagus, but he looks like a broccoli. It's confusing.
It is confusing.
That's what asparagus looks like when it's a child.
I guess.
Oh no, he's a child. I forgot.
No, he's a cheese-headed bean boy, and we all know this. So we go past. There's another sketch that almost doesn't even qualify. It's like half of a sketch with like two competing hardware stores.
Joe the merchant was envious of Frank's store and got visited by a fairy who would give him anything, except she would then give Frank double what she gave Joe. And so Joe wishes for half of his store to be destroyed. The end.
Yeah.
Envy will ruin you.
It's amazing how so much of Adventures in Odyssey in the 90s is like espousing things that are like, this is a bad thing. That conservatives would then turn around and be like, this is good, actually, because we're doing it.
Yes, and we'll get into the next episode, of course, is about empathy, which is now a bad word. So when we talk about David and Bathsheba, of course, we know the story. King David looked out of his window, saw a woman bathing, and was like...
She was nude!
She became nude, And he was like, she's going to be my wife now. Who's her husband? Oh, this guy Uriah. He's a Hittite. We're at war. I'm going to go and send him off to be killed. And then that woman will simply belong to me like the 100 other wives I have. The way that is presented is kind of funny here. They do this whole bit where David is very glib about the crimes he is about to do.
Dear Joab, the next time you attack the Ammonites, send Uriah into where the fighting will be the hottest. Then pull away from him and leave him there so that he will be killed. Love to all, David.
Joab did as David commanded.
Age of Empire
he attacked
sounds.
a fortified city and sent Uriah and several other brave men to a place near the city wall where he knew the enemy would rush out upon them. There was a fierce fight, and Uriah and the others were slain. Joab sent a message to King David.
Dear sire, the war goes well.
Well?
However, we attacked the city and sustained heavy losses, including Uriah. Cordially, Joab.
Uriah.
From Long Island.
Yeah, my sister married a Hittite. My mother, she doesn't like that so much.
My mother's a Hittite, my father's at the house of David, and I'm in therapy.
It doesn't quite mesh with the very serious narration that Bernard is doing through this.
Right.
And then they just tell the whole story straight. This stops being a sketch and is just like, okay, now God's going to kill your baby.
Yep.
The end.
It seems like they kind of ran out of time. Like there was so much more they wanted to do and the episode was already running long. This feels like it was cut for time.
I wrote down like, this is an entire episode that's like, envy exists, so don't do it.
Yeah.
And then there's 1 minute at the end, they're like, here's how you can not feel envious. Make a gratitude list. The end.
The end.
And I was laughing so hard. I wrote, here's what I learned. Don't kill your brother. Your baby will die. You'll get stoned to death. You can't hide from God. If you feel envy, you'll die a gruesome death and go to hell. So make a gratitude list.
Yeah.
And that's all you have to do.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, that's a limitation for this episode as opposed to some of the other BTVs, because like there's more to say about other things like compassion and the different permutations of that. Whereas this one is just like, all the Bible stories are the same. Someone was envious, they killed a guy, and then God's like, I'm gonna do some shit to you, bro.
Because that's the thing with anything like this. What can you say about one of the deadly sins other than don't do it?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, we do get a nice little pointer about things we should know.
And now it's time for Did You Know?
Did you know that envy is one of the 7 deadly sins listed by the church fathers in the Middle Ages? The others are laziness, lust, anger, pride, gluttony, and greed.
Well, you know it now, and don't you forget it.
That was the silly take.
One take and you're golden. That was the only take.
I love when they swing for the fences. I would have laughed so hard if it was they'd had all that built up and the kid was like, envy is bad.
It made me laugh to think about being a therapist and someone coming in and being like, I'm experiencing this like deep level of envy over whatever. And me being like, oh, okay, don't.
Yeah, just stop.
Stop it.
Yeah, it's the Bob Newhart sketch on Mad TV.
Well, actually, can you speak more on that, though? Because, like, I have to imagine that this is something that happens sometimes, right? Where people are just like, I cannot stop being envious of X, Y, or Z thing. How do you actually help people process a thought like that?
Yeah, I mean, envy is something that you experience. It's not a choice you're making, right? And so there are things you can do, but like self-reflection, compassion for yourself, exploration. Envy is really painful. It's like it's so painful that it's like you become self-destructive or destructive, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's just about sort of like examining that. Where does it come from? What's behind it? What's activating it? And then, yes, they're not wrong, like learning how to appreciate what you do have and care about the things that are in your life and to sort of, what do they say, tend to your own, but like to think about sort of your own life. But it's a much more involved process than just like make a list.
Right. Yeah. They basically make the contention in this episode, oh, it's a sin. It's coming from a place of the devil making you do something bad, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But What is it? Where does it really come from?
The same as so many other things where it's like, this is not something that people are like, no one loves feeling envious or jealous, right?
No.
It's the feeling that we want to avoid most besides like shame and embarrassment and humiliation, right? And so just to say that this is something that you are doing like a verb is kind of wild. It reminds me a lot of like the stuff that a lot of, I think, evangelicals or just Christians in general would have to sit with of like, but it's in my body and I'm experiencing it, but I'm being told that not only is it bad, but it's a sin.
Yeah.
Like I said before, it just kind of turns in on yourself. It makes me think about like homosexuality, other things that are like, this is just something I'm feeling and I know, but I'm being told I can't.
Yeah, bitterness.
Bitterness
is another one that they dwell on as being like, this is a sinful thought or feeling to have.
Right.
In a lot of cases, it's just coming from you have this sort of suppressed desire of some sort, something that is unfulfilled within you. And then you see somebody else who has something that looks like it is what you want from the outside. And so you say, how dare that person have this thing? I ought to be able to have it.
I deserve this thing.
It's simple, but like that's ultimately what the thing is, right?
Yeah. Envy is a really tricky emotion because it's not like envy isn't the actual thing. It's usually something else going on, right? And so like I've worked with people where there's envy, and then through a lot of exploration, what we've discovered is there's actually like resentment towards people not appreciating who the person is. And so that's just like a lot of work that we do as therapists with people. But imagine just being like, oh yeah, well, you're sinning.
Stop it.
You know?
Have you considered that it's because you're a bad person and an asshole?
Yeah. And I mean, thankfully, because the four of us have worked in theater, we've never felt envious.
No,
of anyone
Never.
ever once. We are immune to such feelings.
In some cases, I think what can be described as envy is just you wanting something that somebody else has and is keeping from you intentionally. I think a great example would just be material conditions in the world more broadly right now.
Sure.
Yeah, because then you can make that argument that, if you want to improve your life somehow and there is a system that is rigged against you and you are in opposition to that system, well, then that's just envy. That is just that sinful thought. And as a matter of fact, let's just look at this clip. This happens a little bit later in the episode. But let's look at this clip. Let's look at what BTV, Adventures in Odyssey, Focus on the Family's thought is on how to repair that.
When we look at our neighbor's yard, how do we stop ourselves from thinking that the grass is greener on his side of the fence?
Look at Harry's grass. It looks so much better than mine. I sure wish I had his lawn.
If the grass always looks greener on the other side of the fence, you need the amazing new product Homegrow with secret formula TTYO. Tend to your own. And it's so simple to use. Just shake a little Homegrow with TTYO onto your grass. Water every day. Mow once a week. Trim and weed as needed. And in no time, you'll have the luscious, gorgeous lawn you've always wanted.
Wow, look at this luscious, gorgeous lawn. It's what I've always wanted. Homegrow with TTYO really works.
Get Homegrow with TTYO. It really works, because if the grass is greener on the other side of the fence, it's probably because you aren't properly taking care of the grass on your side of the fence.
Oh, well.
So this is saying that it's not even about examining your emotions. It's about do more work. It's very Protestant. It's do more work and this tend to your own thing. This is not really a biblical principle. There's something in the book of Romans that you can kind of tie this to a little bit, but this is from Voltaire.
What?
This is the ending of Candide.
Oh my God.
Which is also a little bit of a hint for something that's to come in the next few weeks. But at the end of Candide, their whole struggle against the torments and sorrows of the world and their philosophy around all of it is just, well, all that is well and good, but first we must tend to our garden. This is not in the Bible. This is not present anywhere in the scriptures, but it is a very Christian and specifically Protestant belief, and specifically, I think, American Protestant belief.
I think a lot of envy is, it's like I'm envious of this thing that this person has, but really what's under that is I'm envious of the motivation this person had to go get this thing, right? And a lot of times I feel like it points back to probably like depression, right? And it's sort of like, I feel like people have more, or they're doing more, or they're getting more, and I don't have the energy or the ability to sort of do that. And so then it's like, then saying like, okay, well, go do more, tend to your garden.
Right.
It's like, it's not helpful.
Also, to always point to this idea of, oh, you're just not doing enough, it creates a very easy out in situations where you are critiquing structural inequities. Because then it's not a matter of structural inequities at all. It's a matter of you're not doing the work and I am.
I definitely remember meeting a member of the DeVos family who said, well, I just think people who are poor in America are people who just haven't worked hard enough for it. And it's like, you are a DeVos. you never had to work a day in your life. You're the third generation of a pyramid scheme empire. So they do this extended NYPD Blue riff. NVPD, right? Oh, envy, haha. And this is telling the story of Ahab and Jezebel and how they lied about this one landowner so they could steal his land and killed him gruesomely, and he was eaten by dogs. And then God was like, that's also going to happen to you. I'm going to get the worst driver in Israel to ride a chariot over your fucking face. And he did. So the way that this is spelled out is one of those things. This is why I clipped it. That's just been in my head for 25 years. Sure. So let's just listen.
For his crimes, King Ahab was cursed by God to be utterly swept away in a gruesome death we won't describe here because of the gratuitous violence, and his entire family destroyed. But because Ahab repented in sackcloth and ashes, God reduced his sentence and allowed trouble to come not in Ahab's life, but during the reign of his son. Ahab died a soldier's death in battle. Jezebel was not so fortunate. She, too, was sentenced by God to a gruesome death that we won't describe here because, well, you know why. And although she outlived her husband, because she never repented, her sentence was carried out just as God described.
That guy's going fucking ape shit on the drums.
They got Phil Collins for this, actually. Yeah. This episode feels the most VeggieTales of every single Odyssey we've listened to thus far.
Yeah.
Like, it feels the most willing to be silly and to try different ideas. I want to say that VeggieTales is infinitely more successful in what it's trying to do.
VeggieTales is actually funny, whereas BTV is not.
But at least it's willing to be silly.
And Brooke, are you that familiar with VeggieTales? Have you seen a VeggieTale or two?
We did a VeggieTales episode, so only again through Jake. I find the world very confusing. I'm like, they don't go to heaven. They live in the fridge. No one eats them.
And they don't have hands, but they can do stuff with their.
Yes.
They later establish that their hands are invisible.
We might as well move on here to episode 419, Another Man's Shoes. Again, this is another Phil Lawler special, originally aired on March 27, 1999. So we're sort of contemporaneous again with the episodes we've been talking about pretty recently.
We're jumping through the chronology again, and we are at this point. This one also was like weirdly arranged in the albums. So it was released like a couple of albums later than when it was broadcast. But this happens basically right after the three-parter Malachi's Message, which, Brooke, you may need to sit down for this. I know you've been standing this whole time, but
in that suit of armor too. My God,
you look exhausted. Take a break, honey.
On my walking treadmill desk.
Brian has had to edit out every clank, clank, clank over the course of this. It's very impressive.
So there was a three-parter where an angel came to town and gave a bunch of people ideas, and then they all forgot him. And
your face right now
is
angel
so
that
is real. I want to be very clear.
A real, literal angel. Yeah.
Came to town.
Yeah, there's a point where he shows up in the back of Whit's car, and this is the sound that Whit makes.
Whit's gonna make some more noises by the end of this episode.
Yes, he
Spoilers.
is.
And the angel convinces Tom Riley to build a wilderness retreat over the cabin that Johnny Appleseed built on his property. Johnny Appleseed also appeared as an angel a few hundred episodes before
This is canon.
Yes, this is all true.
There is a farmer named Tom Riley who owns a goon cave just outside of town.
It's not a goon cave. He just goons in it.
Any cave that you goon in becomes a goon cave.
That's what I'm always saying.
Yeah, same.
This episode was nuts.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
So this angel at the very end of the angel three-parter goes up to Whit and he's like, okay, I've done all this stuff for everybody else. I helped Eugene interview better for jobs. I got Tom Riley to build a wilderness retreat. What do you want, Whit? And Whit's like, I want inspiration. He's like, okay, cool. And then he disappears in a puff of smoke. And Whit's like, I have an idea for a new invention. this is the episode where he tries out the new invention.
I was wondering why there was so much explaining of the transmuter at one point. I was like,
because it's new. We hadn't seen it up until this point.
Right. And we're going to see it so many times after this.
That's right, AJ.
That's inspiration from God himself.
So we're in the locker room with Jared.
You
Jared
can tell
Dwight.
because it's the most echoey place in the known universe.
Yes.
And his buddy. What's his buddy's name again?
Dwayne Oswald, the Tower of Jello.
I have that written down too. Why does he call him a Tower of Jello?
Because he's like a tower that sucks. I don't know.
Dwayne the Jello Johnson, I believe is his name.
But anyway, we're in the locker room when the big bully Brock enters the room.
The big bully Brock Blakely.
The next class is coming in.
I can't find my other sock. Man, I hate PE.
It's under the bench. I hate it too. I wouldn't mind it so much if it didn't involve all that running, sweating, and panting. If only there was a way to do PE without actually moving.
I hate it for a whole different reason.
Really? What?
Hey, it's Jurat.
That reason.
Uh-oh, Brock Blakely.
Wait. Don't leave me here with him.
So, how you doing, Jurat? What's the matter? Can't figure out how to put on your sock? Here's a hint. You gotta be smarter than the sock.
Very funny, broccoli.
Whoa, such quick wit. Like I'd never heard that before. Try coming up with something original next time.
Oh yeah, and Jurat is so original. You only say it to me every time you see me.
Well, that's because it fits you so well. A combination between jerk and rat. You got a jerky personality and a tiny little brain and a pointed little rat head.
He's got a point.
I mean, bullies don't always have to explain themselves. I thought he did a nice job.
It was cohesive. It was dramaturgically sound.
He's thought this through. I thought he was just being mean, but when you lay it out like that, it's a very compelling case.
So here's what I'm going to say about this scene, right?
Yeah.
As it progresses, the homoerotic tension between these boys is off the fucking charts.
It feels like heated rivalry was.
I was just going to say, it's very heated rivalry coded.
Considering Jared buys him flowers at the end of the episode, I think that's well founded.
I was waiting for the end of this scene to be like, what room number are you?
Yeah.
Like, I am not even joking. Brock, there's a part where he says to Jared, like, hey, maybe I should meet you out there on the field and I could get a sense of your ball handling skills.
It's like, they do balls jokes. They do balls
They
jokes.
don't know it, though. Phil Lawler doesn't know what balls are.
He's never looked down there. It's a whole mystery zone.
I thought that this scene would be somehow about Brock developing empathy for Jared.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that Jared would take his shoes, but that maybe somehow Brock would be the one that goes into Jared's shoes. But that is not what happened.
No, we gotta see how this boy gets abused. This wild that they would even think that they could handle this subject matter.
Part of this is also a chance to get Chad Reiser back on the show. Chad Reiser played Monty Whitaker, Whit's grandson, who in a very early episode, actually before it's even called Adventures in Odyssey, when it was still Family Portraits, that's the episode where Whit inflicts corporal punishment upon his grandson Monty and explains why that needs to happen.
We've had so many spanking episodes on our podcast.
It's central. It is central to Dobson's entire mission.
In those earlier episodes, too, that one specifically, a lot of what goes on in there is actually pulled straight from the text of Dare to Discipline, which should come as no surprise.
Including even a whole Jeremiad against protesting the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also that Whit is so based on Dobson, especially in the early going.
Yeah. You could have just stopped when you said Whit is so based. AJ.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I think a lot about how he changes over the course of even what we've listened to and how he does get further away from Dobson specifically and becomes his own sort of horrible monster.
Yeah.
But this one felt more Dobson-y than most of the other Whits that we've had in a while because we get the introduction of his new toy. And when Whit gets a new toy,
all bets are off.
It's always exciting.
Yeah.
Basically, Jared steals Brock's shoes because Brock has been fucking bullying him.
And Brock is a star soccer player, and he's about to leave town tomorrow to go play the big game at, quote, Capital City.
Wow. Ring-a-ding-ding.
So Jared is like, well, fuck this guy. I want him to lose at the big soccer game. He steals his cleats. Then he just goes to Whit's end and tells Whit everything that he's done, and Whit reads him for fucking filth.
Haven't you heard that it's better to love your enemies and pray for them?
Says who?
Don't you pay any attention in my Sunday school class?
Get him!
Oh yeah, it's something Jesus said. But it's easy to say, Mr. Whitaker. It's a whole lot harder to do.
Well, maybe it'd be easier if you knew more about Brock. You know, view him as more of a human being.
That's the problem. Brock isn't human. He likes humiliating kids, and he hates me. What more do I need to know?
Those are just surface things, Jarrett. You should try to get to know the real person behind Brock's mask.
How am I supposed to do that?
Well, I have something that might help if you're really interested.
Uh-oh. Have you heard of a persona?
I just wrote in all capitals, emotional labor. Like, it's up to you to solve this problem.
That's right.
Well, and this is a pretty basic tenet of the Gospels, right? This is something that Jesus says outright. Is like, ostensibly, it's not supposed to be a religion of power, as Jesus puts it. You are not to really interact with or hold power. You are to live your life virtuously on earth so that you can receive your heavenly reward. You will be persecuted and you just got to deal with it.
I wrote down submit to power because I think that's actually what's taught a lot, like not between each other, but like that is the whole idea of prayer and worship, isn't it? That's like the ultimate power.
Well, especially in the world of Dobson, where it is patriarchal authorities as represented by Whit.
One thing in my brain was that Jared sort of felt like women to me, and then Brock sort of felt like husbands or men, you know, and I was like, what is this saying? And when I put it into the context of like not a school bully, but like, well, school bullies actually can be pretty terrifying, but like an abuser, right? And when you think about like, oh, okay, you have to empathize with your abuser, you have to think about what they're going through, you have to, and I was like, no. This is a dangerous idea.
It reminds me of the letter that I know Jake read to you from James Dobson. This young woman who resented her father needed to understand that her father was simply a product of his environment.
Yeah.
And this was the very same letter, of course, that Jeffrey Epstein would then send to one of his victims to be like, get over it.
Yeah, I mean, I get this sort of idea is like, I wrote at one point, hurt people. Like, okay, we get it.
Yeah.
But like, you taking on the labor of having to understand that person and correct that or whatever it is not a great thing.
No, and Whit commits several crimes over the course of this episode.
Yes.
We finally find out a very key piece of Odyssey lore that has been bothering me since the word go, which is how the fuck... Okay, so Brooke, some context here. The transmuter is one of 3 objects of power that Whit has inside Whit's end. You have...
If your party collects all 3 and takes them to the deep dungeon underneath Tom Riley's cave, you will finally be able to end the world.
You can defeat the god of gooning himself.
Yeah. Or the goon of godding.
Ooh. But yeah, so there is the transmuter, which allows you to experience somebody's life in the present. There is the imagination station, which allows you to travel into the past and also kind of sometimes into the future. Don't
worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
And sometimes parallel presence as well. Don't worry about it.
Yes, and in all of those situations, there are AIs in there who fully respond to what you're saying.
That's right.
And then there is the Room of Consequence.
Or sometimes also called the Room of Consequences, which is the title I prefer.
Yeah. Very confusing. But when you go in there, you basically get to see if you make this choice, what will the ramifications of it be? And it has like fully sentient versions of all your family and friends and of everyone in Odyssey. Yeah. And for a long time, I was like, so Whit has just been studying everyone in Odyssey and taking copious notes and putting this into an algorithm that then he can like make into a sentient AI. Sure, whatever. No, turns out he has their DNA. He has everyone in town's DNA.
And here's how he gets it. So Whit introduces this new device, the transmuter, to Jared Dwight, and it looks like a doctor's office scale. This is the most visual description we get of any of these objects on the show. I don't understand that. It just looks like a scale from a doctor's.
Like
what
the
do
one
you
that
mean?
You step on in the fucking
room?
and
it has little weights. You know,
you
that
have to
you
take your
move.
shoes off to get on the scale. I thought was the idea. So then you're putting on these other shoes.
But he has to put the shoes on the scale. Either way,
keep going.
Either way, Whit's like, come over before school. Come in the early morning to Whit's End tomorrow and bring Brock's shoes. this is already a no zone.
Yeah,
this
no,
is
that's not good.
Bring that teenage boy's shoes to me early in the morning before anyone comes in.
What's this?
I need to smell them. Yeah.
In this world, where's all the moms and dads?
That's a great question. Well, we'll see them later.
Perfect question.
Well, Whit's got their DNA, I'll tell you that much.
So Whit has Jared put the shoes on the doctor's scale, and we do this stuff.
Give me Brock's shoes.
His shoes? Why?
Oh, you'll see. Hand them over.
You'll see.
Okay.
Now, we just set them right here on the transmuter's platform. Touch a few buttons, and...
Transmutation scan in progress.
Scan?
That light beam, it's scanning the shoes.
Transmutation scan complete. Ready for phase 2.
Phase 2? What's that?
That's you. Step into Brock's shoes.
What? No way!
Why not?
For one thing, his feet are 4 sizes bigger than mine. Not only that, but those shoes are gross.
Oh, just step inside.
Is it safe?
Perfectly. Now in you go.
Why are they wet?
Well, okay.
Get in the shoes, Jared.
A few more adjustments, and...
Transmutation successful.
Excellent.
What do you mean? All I felt was a little tingle. How is this supposed to make me learn about Brock?
Oh, look in the mirror.
The mirror? Why should I look in the... Ah!
Jared, are you all right?
No, I'm not all right. That machine changed me into Brock.
It's so invasive, right?
Yes!
It's how is it different than being like, here's Brock's diary that I stole from his bedroom?
Oh,
like,
he's about to learn all of Brock's darkest secrets.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's very weird. Also, like, where's the moms and dads signing a release for this? Like, get in these shoes. The world of like blindly trusting adults in this whole, like, Jake and I talk about this a lot too. Just like that umbrella of power, but like, just like this, I don't know much about Whit, but like, you just go to this guy's machine and get in and like, what?
Well, he owns an ice cream shop that has machines.
Then it's okay.
Yeah.
Then it's
and
okay.
he can put you in the contraption. Yeah.
The extreme amount of leeway that this show gives Whit with his various invasions of privacy in the way that compares to how other adults in the show are treated, it's completely different.
It has a feeling to me, especially if Whit is supposed to be Dobson, of like Whit usurps your parents, because it's not like they're saying like, oh, this is a moral lesson I should be learning from my family, right? It's like, oh, I'm learning this from the church or from Dobson or whatever it is. Right. So this idea of power is there as well.
I have to learn everything from parachurch organizations that have 501c3s.
I am very fascinated to talk at the end of this episode about what logistically is happening, actually.
Yes.
When
Once we get the big
transmuter
twist
works.
at the end. Yeah.
Yes, but we will get there because first we have to ruin a teenage boy's life.
Yeah, so Jared has transformed into Brock Blakely, the Scarlet Pimpernel himself, and now he's going to school because the real Brock, of course, has gotten on the bus to go to Capital City in the first of 2 Simpsons references this episode.
Oh, yeah.
Ring-a-ding-ding.
And Brock, he tries to like do good, right? Jared as Brock sees Dwayne Oswald getting bullied and he's like, guys, leave him alone. But no one will believe him.
Right.
Okay, I don't know if this is a reference any of you are going to be familiar with, but do you remember when Tyra Banks had a talk show?
Of course.
Oh, absolutely.
And she walked around one time wearing a fat suit and was like, everyone was so mean to me. And I was like, that's because they knew that you were Tyra Banks in a fat suit. Like, what do you mean?
Of course they were mean to you.
She's like, oh, I really experienced that cruelty. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, because you put that out into the world, lady. Like,
yeah, everyone walking up to her and being like, oh, are you scared of dolphins, huh? She's like, why does everyone keep asking fat people if they're scared of dolphins?
Yeah, it's like when Jared as Brock was like, why doesn't anyone trust me when I tell them I'm Jared stuck inside a Brock body? I'm like, well,
why do you think, bud?
What?
I do like the idea of the Brock body being more like a skin suit than being like a one-to-one perfect recreation.
Like he's walking around like Vince D'Onofrio in Men in Black.
Or that one, I think you should leave sketch.
He's just like, I don't want to be a bully anymore.
So he's trying to like talk down Dwayne Oswald, who's just losing his mind. And then the principal steps in. Principal what? What is his name?
Principal Skinner.
Principal Skinner, and the second of our Simpsons references this week.
This so comprehensively does not work. Basically, Skinner starts rating him for filth, Brock, and being like, well, you've been doing all these bad things. And he's like, no, I haven't. But the problem is he has.
Yeah.
Right. And also, we as the audience have no real way of knowing exactly how much of this information is true or not.
Yeah.
We are just supposed to like reflexively take it as not truthful because we are now in the shoes of the protagonist, literally. Or I guess in the shoes of the antagonist. This is very strange.
So then, while Brock is talking to the principal, we get a huge revelation.
Oh, yeah.
So you think you should be allowed to bully the kids?
No, but I don't think it's fair for you to expect more out of me just because I'm bigger than everyone. I mean, I can't help it.
You know better than that. It's not just your size, Brock. It's also your age.
My age?
Yes, Brock, your age. You are 15 years old, after all.
15? Brock is 15?
Yes, Brock, you are. And why are you talking about yourself in the third person?
Brock was just learning about it in English.
Well, look, I've kept our agreement. No one knows about this. But I do want you to start acting your age, okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, fuck off.
This is of course Pete Renaday doing, yes, a very good Brian Cox impression.
I love the way that Jared remains low-key judgy about him being 15. Like even when he's like walking in Brock's shoes and he's like, oh, I totally get it. Even after this whole scene we're about to talk about, when he's like, and he's 15, which is fucking humiliating.
Yeah, I like they really have to calibrate Jared in such a way that this makes him more empathetic instead of being like, oh, fuck, I know he's 15 now. I'm telling everybody.
Yes. It's also
I would have liked to have seen him like give into that impulse at least initially and then be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that.
You know, we talked about the element of trust and how you should always have trust in adults. Jared is an interesting character because half the time he's just written to be like one of the main kids because he's one of the better actors on the show as far as the kids go. But he is also a very distinctly drawn character. In earlier episodes we've listened to with Jared, he is a conspiracy theorist who has developed his own unified theory of everything, which is that JFK invented most of the history that you hear in order to make parents have more control over their children. And all parents and all adults are lying to you. And it's so frustrating then to have these episodes with this really interesting, weird character idea where Jared is just like gonna go along with whatever Whit says.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's also that like, because Brock is 15, maybe he can like get some more information about JFK that would be denied to someone like Jared who's a little bit younger.
Yeah, Jared goes to see an R-rated movie because he thinks that those are the ones that tell the truth to the adults.
Look, I know that 15-year-olds have access to the Zapruder film. Can I just like have that?
We need to give our audience something to hold on to with Brock, right? Like what grounds him? How do we save the cat here? We get a delivery to him from a guy named Floyd.
You got magnesia or something? It's me, Floyd.
Oh, yeah, Floyd. Sorry, it's been a long day. What do you want?
I got the package you wanted.
Package?
Yeah, the stuff you ordered. It's all right here.
How old is this man?
Duh? Do you mean...
Oh, yeah, the things you love.
Oh, boy.
I even put something new in there for you to try. Open it up.
Here? Now?
Yeah. We're pretty hidden. Nobody's watching.
I really don't think I should.
Come on. You gotta make sure I got everything. Besides, I want to see your face when you look at the new stuff.
No, I just really...
All right, then I'll open it up.
You know what? I've changed my mind. I really don't want to get mixed up with...
Look!
Flowers? These are flower seeds.
Of course they are. What did you think they was?
Well, flowers, of course.
Yeah, I think I got everything you wanted. Geraniums, chrysanthemums, hydrangeas, and here's the new stuff. Nasturtiums. They're gonna go great in your garden.
So he likes flowers.
What did he think it was?
Drugs.
I'm so glad that it wasn't a dick in a box.
That's my thing. How old
You thought
is
he
this
was a
man? What is he
flasher?
doing?
You thought
Hanging
this
around
guy-
schools?
Why is he talking like a drug dealer if it's flowers? Oh, because it's embarrassing to like flowers?
Men?
Yeah,
I don't
because
know.
it's gay or whatever.
Is he getting
yeah.
them for free? He didn't exchange any money for this box. Are they stolen?
This is just
I just really get off on seeing kids look at flowers.
This guy's just his seed dealer. That's all.
This guy went to the Home Depot and just tucked a bunch of flower seed packets into his pants.
Yeah, why does he have a flower dealer?
At this point,
Weird.
you care a lot about Brock, right? You're like, oh, he likes flowers. That means I care,
No.
right?
No.
No?
What?
No.
What?
No, I was more confused at this point. I was like, oh, because I knew we would see something like, oh, he's got a hard life or someone
All right,
bullies
fine.
Brock.
Fine.
Yeah.
What if we throw some family trauma into the mix?
Just a little.
Could I offer you some family trauma?
Just the littlest dollop of it would be great.
Let's get John Goodman from Big River in here.
It gets so dark.
It does.
It is
Yeah.
weird. Yeah.
So when Brock's in the park with his bags of flower seeds, his sister runs up to him and she's like, hey, man, Dad's back. You got to come home.
And she has one of the best line deliveries that I wrote it down. She goes, he's been drinking again.
Oh, brother. Alcoholism.
And the thing is, he has been drinking again. And boy, this goes places.
Yeah.
This is my house, and I'll do what I want.
Brock, do something, please.
Hey, cut it out.
Brock, you're home.
Well, looky who we got here. A chip off the old Brock. Come here, boy. Give your dad a hug, huh?
Why don't you just go somewhere and sleep it off?
Hey, there's no way to talk to your father. Helen, you gonna let him talk to me that way?
Joe, please.
Joe, please. Joe, please. You always take his side against me.
Leave her alone.
Hey, getting tough. Huh? Let's see what you got.
Daddy, don't.
Shut up.
Leave us alone.
Or what? What are you gonna do, huh? You gonna hit me with your box there? What's in that thing anyway? Give me.
Hey, give it back.
What's this? What are you? Some kind of sissy boy?
Joe, I remember this.
I am doing my best to make a man out of you. You're growing flowers in my backyard.
I like flowers.
You like them? Oh, you good for nothing. I don't like them, you hear? I don't like them at all. No son of mine is gonna grow up to be a flower-loving sissy. Here's what I think of your flower seeds. Give me.
And then we get a lot of like noise and yelling. And
I want you to know that I just texted Jake this morning that line
nice.
out of context. I just wrote, no son of mine is going to grow up to be a flower-loving sissy. And Jake just wrote back, have so much fun recording today.
This moment is both way too much and not nearly enough.
Yeah, we've gone full bore into melodrama here.
Yeah, right. I think that Shuler Hensley as Judd Fry in this scene is
once
really
again, Pete Renaday.
Keep him
Pete
coming.
Renaday.
Keep him coming.
You're right. Calling him a sissy-loving flower boy is like
sissy-loving flower.
Yeah,
That's me.
No, that is. I'm so sorry. That is true. But like, it's harsh for like Odyssey terms. Like, I was surprised by the frankness of it.
The shut up really.
The
stood
shut
out
up is
to me.
definitely the scariest.
But again, it doesn't feel truthful. It feels like a sketch of what an abusive relationship actually
or what
feels
a drunk
like to
man
live in.
sounds
or
like
what a
for
drunk
that
man
matter.
sounds
Yeah.
like. Absolutely.
So Brooke, obviously on your show, you and Jake talk a lot about how Dobson addresses the question of, as he likes to put it, broken families, where you have a father figure who is abusive, emotionally unavailable, or just otherwise difficult. And I'm curious how this sort of presentation of the quote unquote broken family to you tracks with all of the stuff that you have now read about in the world of James Dobson more broadly.
Dobson doesn't really use examples like this, where it's like, this is clearly a bad guy that makes this kid's life a lot harder, right? In the Dobson world, it would be on the mother to fix this, or there would be a quick fix. Like someone would say, pray, and then the dad would be all better, whatever, I don't know. But it doesn't exactly track in a lot of ways, because this is saying like, this guy is not in charge of his home and he's not loved by his family.
Yeah, it's interesting for them to present a very obvious problem where the man just needs to not be there. And it sounds like he usually isn't there. And then when he shows up, it's always an issue and they're better off without him, because Focus on the Family as an organization is not 100% against divorce. It doesn't shun divorced women or anything like that. In fact, Dobson had a real affinity for single mothers raising children. I was reading some post online where someone was talking about how they'd always get free stuff because his mom would just mail in and be like, I'm a single mother, blah, 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 blah. And then they get like free tapes and t-shirts and shit. But it is an organization that is fundamentally built against reducing divorces to almost nothing, to like 19th century levels, because they believe that society itself is built on, imagine like a great big foundation that is built brick by brick by nuclear families.
I also noticed it's not like when Jared comes back to Whit, he says like, let's call a social worker. This kid is being abused.
Yeah.
He's like,
Whit
let's
allows
pray
us
for
to
him.
continue.
Yeah, Whit knows
He allows
this is
us to
happening.
continue.
This is so fucked.
This trauma has led Brock to being a bully.
They do say it's like, oh, it's not an excuse. You know, he still does things that he does, but this is an episode entirely about empathy. Here's this guy who's in a situation that is worse than yours, Jared, and worse than yours presumed audience member of Adventures in Odyssey. They're not, right? The abusive father-family relationship is always kind of an other.
It's an external thing. It's
It is not something that the kid listening to the show is ever experiencing.
Exactly.
Certainly
And
not.
that's the thing that frustrates me so much about this is that there are going to, of course, be many situations in which your dad is going to be the abusive one, even if he is somebody playing you fucking Adventures in Odyssey tapes, maybe especially if he's playing you Adventures in Odyssey tapes. It's just that the shape of that abuse is going to look different from the shape of the abuse presented in this episode.
Yeah, he may not be a drinker. He may be an ardent believer in the scriptures.
Yes.
Right?
The episode we just recorded that hasn't come out yet, so exclusive, is we talk a lot about the DARE program.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that was just never going to be the issue. Like people jumping out of the bushes and trying to shove drugs at you, or I guess flowers in this case.
Yeah, I mean, it was going to be flowers.
But it's like these really extreme examples, right? Exactly like you're saying. Like, what about the kid who's a bully because his dad just isn't ever home and doesn't give a shit about him?
I think that part of what is going on here is that they are trying to present an image of what your conception of abuse ought to look like as a child so that you can point at it and be like, well, my family's not abusive. They don't do that.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see Phil Lawler, though, as being dumb enough not to be able to think in that way. But to believe that
was
right. Yeah. To believe that, like, well, a family that looks like, say, Dave Arnold,
right?
The producer of the show who later disowned his daughter for being gay. That's not an abusive or fucked up situation.
Exactly.
You know, homeschooling all of his kids and everything like that. It's really only the drink that does it, really, when you look at it.
And whether he meant to, like, put that message out there or not, it's out there, right? And as a therapist, I would say most of the people who come to me talk about like, well, I know this probably isn't as bad as other people you talk to, or I know this abuse wasn't as bad as things you've probably seen or heard about. And I'm like, it doesn't matter.
It also is somewhat similar. There are 2 episodes of Adventures in Odyssey about dealing with bullies. We haven't listened to the other one. That's an older episode. That's more about the just stand up to your bully kind of thing.
Sure.
Which also doesn't work.
Just say no.
There is the broader issue of abuse and how we counsel people who are experiencing that, especially as adults. But when you're talking to a child who is experiencing bullying at school, it can often be an intractable problem. And so how do we, I don't know, how, because other shows also do the whole stand up to your bully, or your bully's also going through some shit, you know, the monologue in the Breakfast Club, whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, what is the alternative approach?
I mean, I think that it's important. This message is important for kids who are being bullied for the purpose of them understanding that it is not something they are doing where they are deserve this or that they are instigating this somehow. So if you can express to a child, like maybe this kid is going through something at home or whatever, then it helps remove the idea that I'm causing this in my life. Right.
Yeah.
But I don't otherwise feel like the important thing or even the safest thing is always to stand up directly or to just pray for them. I don't exactly know what the solution is. He says it at the end. He's like, so what am I supposed to just like accept that? And they're like, no, the end.
I should say too, when Jared comes back, this is when we get the big reveal of the episode that the transmuter did not actually change Jared's body and send him to Brock's real house. It's another simulator, as we were implying towards the beginning here.
And what we learn is that he was in the workshop the entire time in sort of an altered state of consciousness. And Whit, it turns out, programmed a whole bunch of shit that he already knew just as like secondhand information about Brock's personal life into this thing as part of the program. And then the transmuter just like sucked the DNA out of his shoes and took care of the rest.
Yeah.
This is standard operating procedure for John Avery Whitaker, and this is an egregious violation of Brock's privacy on every conceivable level.
Yeah.
Not to mention breaking multiple laws.
Yeah. It's also like abusive in itself,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
I'm thinking about like the I know it's a radio show, but I'm thinking about the reality of this. Of like if a teenage kid came to me and was like, I'm being bullied, so this man in my town brought me to an ice cream shop,
right,
and explained to me the violent abuse that my classmate is experiencing,
And made me live it. And made me live
and
through
walked
it.
me through step by step. I'd be like, wow, we need to probably call the police.
Yeah.
But and also just like Whit being like, well, you know, Brock has been held back 2 years and he has a drunk dad who beats the shit out of him and tears up all the flowers. By the way, he's really into flowers. He's maybe a little bit of a fruit, Jared. Think about that next time you try to steal his shoes.
Yeah.
The lesson here is stay away from flowers.
That's right.
And then he ends up sending, Jared ends up sending a letter. He puts the note in one of the shoes, which it's going to get so wet.
Yeah, Jared says he's praying for him, and he also throws in a little bag of flower seeds.
Somebody's praying? For me?
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, I would also just like to point out that this episode introduced a new Whit sound that I am obsessed with. This is in response to Jared saying, oh, maybe I did learn something today. And this is how Whit responds.
Oh?
But then fucking Chris comes in at the end and is like, hey, are you experiencing abuse? You should tell someone. Well, that's it for this week. And I'm like, that's it?
It's like, if you watched a very special episode of Boy Meets World from like around this time, they would have a hotline that you could call, because there were hotlines you could call, but I guess Focus on the Family doesn't believe in those because they're not guided by Christ.
Yeah, you have to go to
they're
your
just
pastor.
like, talk to somebody.
So
good luck.
This is a mental health check-in, Brooke. How you
Yeah.
feeling at this point about Adventures in Odyssey?
Super great. Yeah, loving it. It's
Okay.
But I feel like I'm at home on my own podcast.
Great.
Yeah.
There's it hasn't happened yet, but on our podcast, my friend told me, she's like, none of my friends listen to our podcast because they're not religious and they don't know anything. But my one friend listens and she goes, I can always tell when there's just like long stretches of you not talking that you're just like, okay, I have nothing left to say. Like, let's just get through this. Or she told me when she's like, I sometimes laugh because I know you so well when you just go, wow.
Brooke, that was me the first 50 episodes of this podcast. Oh, with time, those wows will get longer.
Jake,
Wow.
Jake used to do this thing. I asked them to stop doing it because I was like, you're making me look like such an idiot. But they used to do this thing where they'd be like, Brooke, tell me everything you know about the 1972 blah, blah, blah. I was like, I don't know.
Nothing. Made me list the books of the Bible off the dome.
Well, you grew up Catholic. You went to Catholic school, and they don't teach you the Bible, and I just think that's very funny.
It is funny.
I think this is about where I texted Jake. It was like, never mind. This is bad. It does not slap. No.
And bad news. We've got even more. So we're going to go ahead and take a break now. We'll come back in the second half and we'll really dig into the shit. We'll be back in just a moment. Oh, sorry, friends. The radio always gets a little fuzzy the further we get up the mountain. Everybody okay back there?
Never better.
More AC would be preferable.
No can do on the AC, my Russian friend. Unless she's going over 60 miles per hour. Turning on the cold air might cause the old girl to catch fire, and we don't want that. Not again.
Apologies, but how much farther? I'm afraid the Smiley Town burger might have given me just a dash of food poisoning.
Just around the corner here, but if you have to hurl, there is a cooler in the back with your name on it. Fair warning, it is filled with fish guts.
Filled with... Well, those certainly are fish guts.
Pretty ripe, right? It's for my traps around the perimeter. Never can be too careful.
Traps? Sounds like the place you're taking us to must be pretty secure, Mr. Thompson.
The Fort Knox of Providence, North Carolina, Mr. Mulligan. The Fort Knox. I'll tell you something, Mel. Can I call you Mel?
Well,
I'll tell you, Mel. Patmos Industries might own the grid, but the tax man? Oh, baby, the tax man owns the off the grid. Oh, here we are.
Ugh, Jesus!
Oh, God, the cooler spilled. The cooler spilled. Make way! Make way!
There she is, friends. Chateau Taxman.
Oh, yeah, you nice, live like this?
I borrowed some French tapes from the local library. If anybody needs a study buddy, je suis ton poisson.
You are our fish?
Oh, yeah. It's a slang term. It means friend. Just give me a sec to get the tarp out of the way, and then we can entrar. Pardon my French. Ha ha! Okay.
Maestro, you are also seeing a cave? Yes. A cave that is presumably lined with a wide variety of knives and firearms? More than likely, yeah. Excellent. I am just making sure we are on the same page about our imminent and violent murder. He isn't going to murder us, Estragon. There's 4 of us and only 1 of him. And 1 of us is a bear. Besides, look at him.
Come on. Not in front of my new friends, you're the tax man, damn it, the tax man!
He's actively losing a battle with a tarp. I am only saying, this is an important mission. We are taking on head of multinational conglomerate. It is perhaps unwise to be placing our hopes on a man who cannot speak French, and I feel I must stress this fact, probably has cave of guns.
Oh, tarp down! Who's the tax man? I am!
See, he got the tarp down. Look, he says he's got some insider info on Patmos. I say we hear him out. I don't think he's dangerous, Estragon. He just seems a bit lonely. I mean, I'd go mad too if I had to live in a cave. No offense, Phoebe. Besides, worst comes to worst, we just have Phoebes here, gobble him up. Oh no, Phoebe is strict vegetarian. She has tried human flesh, of course, but has found it to be her second least favorite meat. Second least?
Alrighty, my poissons. A little more French for you. Come on in. The cave is fine, but do not touch anything. It is so wet in there. I can't wait to show you my slides.
I hope you know what you're doing. Me too. Hey, Alistair, we're heading in.
Sorry, chaps. I don't know what got into me, but I certainly know what got out of... Melvin?
Yes, Alistair?
I activated one of the perimeter traps, didn't I?
Looks that way, yeah.
I see. And the fish guts. All over me, are they?
They appear to be in every nook and cranny, yes.
I see. Well...
Hear the bells ring. Listen to them sing.
There she is, gents. Patmos HQ, or as it is more commonly known around these parts, the Tower of Patmos. You okay with the number of towels there, Alistair, buddy?
Never better.
Excellent. So, the Tower of Patmos. 100 stories tall, with several research facilities located in the sub-basements of the building. The elevators are keycard activated, and each keycard is color coordinated. Mine, as you will see, is green, which designates me as an accountant, hence the tax man.
Oh, I thought it was a sex thing.
I hope you die.
I got hired on by Patmos to help with the acquisition of some land in rural Ohio, Odyssey, Odenton, the like. But after I discovered some, let's say, discrepancies in their accounts, they rather forcefully moved me in-house, namely to the 50th floor of the tower itself. There's also a lounge on the 51st floor where us accountants are allowed to unwind, shoot the breeze, what have you, but my clearance was revoked a few weeks into my time there due to my wanting to start a bowling league and them not caring for how aggressively I wanted to start a bowling league.
So you work for big international company and you choose to live in cave?
Oh, I live in the company housing. I play my part well, but they've got that place bugged within an inch of its life. In the old tax cave here, Fort Knox.
Right. And what about the executives? They'd be on the top floors, I presume.
Exactement, Mel. The top 10 floors can only be accessed by members of the Patmos Board of Directors, and the penthouse serves as both the office and living residence of the CEO of Patmos Industries himself, Karen Jehovah Whit.
If they've got research in celestial objects, Wyatt would want to keep it close to the chest. I'd wager my life that any information he's got will be in that penthouse.
But he'd be keeping Mary down in the labs, surely. And I'm assuming that's accessed with...
A different colored key card, yeah. Wyatt's got the only master key and keeps it on his person at all times.
And with cameras everywhere and our general lack of knowledge of Wyatt's own personal security, the deck is certainly stacked in the opposite of our favor.
Unless we somehow knew what Wyatt himself was thinking. But Taxman, I hear you say that's impossible, right? Wrongo! Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba! Behold!
It is scale from doctor's office?
Hardly. This is the transmitter, a device capable of realistically simulating what it is like to see the world through another person's eyes, so long as you have their DNA, of course.
So, it's for porn. It's a porn thing.
What? No! I mean, probably not. Look, I saw them throw it out with the other trash and thought it would prove useful. So me and the old Toyo tax got her here in one piece with nobody being the wiser.
But we'd still need some of Wyatt's DNA, wouldn't we?
Well, one of my many excursions into the dumpsters of Patmos, I found me some of the garbage from the penthouse itself, specifically these. Voila!
They are shoes.
Not just any shoes, look at the monogram, KJW, Karen Jehovah Wyatt, we've got his DNA.
So, one of us steps into that machine and will, what, become Wyatt?
Not entirely, you'll just see the world through his eyes, temporarily. That way you might be able to find a way up to his penthouse.
How do we know it is safe, this device?
Because the taxman already used it. How do you think I found out about everybody being mad at me about the bowling league?
All right. I'll do it.
Maestro.
Are you sure about this? It might be a trap. And trust me, you do not want to fall into this man's traps.
I'll be all right, Alistair. Gotta trust my gut on this one. But if he tries anything funny, chomp chomp, all right, fee there?
Alrighty, Mel, just step right into the shoes and we'll get this show on the road.
Here goes nothing.
Karen Jehovah Wyatt. Error. Multiple inputs detected. Error.
What's happening?
Reporting as always to Karen Jehovah Wyatt, President,
Odyssey, Odin's sites for 3 new stations. Do you have any idea what kind of danger you're putting those people in?
Merry Christmas, Lord Ligorium. May God bless you and keep you close.
Mel, are you alright?
Fever, fetch some water.
It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much.
What's too much? Mr. Mulligan, what did you see?
It wasn't just one pair of eyes I was looking through. It was hundreds. I saw the whole expanse of Providence from the tower's top. I saw a shop full of pipe organs and.
Let us be taking a breath here, Maestro.
No, Estragon. Listen to me. I saw us.
What do you mean you saw us?
Like, I saw us in this cave right now. I saw us.
We'll have it. Hey now.
No need for violence, Mr. Thompson. I understand a man's right to his own property, believe you me.
How do you know my name? Did Wyatt send you? I found that transmuter fair and square, you hear?
We have no interest in reacquiring the transmuter, Mr. Thompson. Never got much use out of the darn thing anyway. No, I'm here for a different purpose. Mr. Mulligan, I presume?
That's right. Who the fuck are you?
Now, no need for such colorful language. I come in peace. Mr. Mulligan, my name is John Whitaker, and I have been dying to make your acquaintance. Let's talk.
The first time my mom texted me, well, not the first time, a long time ago, before she kind of mastered texting. Now she's really good at it. She just sent me a text that said, "I'm crying." And I was like, oh my God. And I got up from dinner, left, went outside. I called her. I was like, what's going on? She's like, what do you mean? I was like, why did you just send me a text and said you're crying? She's like, because that thing you put on Instagram was so funny. And I was like, Mom, that's not how this works.
You have to tell me what it's in reaction to. You can't just say.
It's like Instagram responses on Instagram, text on text. Yeah.
I mean, my dad still ends his text with "Love, Dad."
Yeah, I get that too.
It's always structured like a small email.
I like it when he said, my stepdad's name is, he'll be like, "Hi, Brooke, this is." I'm like, I know.
We've met.
You're in my phone.
We've met.
It's not just a big guessing game for me.
You know how my name's in your phone? Well, your name's also in my phone.
It's a two-way street. Yeah.
And speaking of two-way streets, Adventures in Odyssey is about to run over a dog. Yep, that's because we're doing episode 399, Bernard and Job.
This episode is yet another Phil Lawler special.
Yeah,
folks.
this is interesting. This features the Mulligan family, who were created by Bill Myers, who was the McGee and Me guy. And Bill Myers generally wrote the episodes about the Mulligans. He does not write this one, because I guess this is a Bernard-centric episode, so it belongs to our boy Philip.
This originally aired on April 11, 1998, and it starts with Mom
Tracy Mulligan, played by Vaughn Taylor of McGee and Me,
right,
and also former wife of Larry Linville.
She's talking about a dog that her daughter got.
My daughter Lisa is the Will Rogers of the pet set.
Ah, never met an animal she didn't like, huh?
Nope. The latest acquisition is that dog. She brought him home a couple weeks ago and promptly named him Wolf.
Wolf? That mangy mutt?
I know. He has scabies, hardly any teeth, and plenty of fleas.
Yeah, this dog fucking sucks.
Who am I to stand in the way of a girl and her dog?
Well.
They've been practically inseparable, and...
What was that?
I don't know, but it didn't sound good. Uh-oh.
I didn't even see him, Lisa.
Mom, come quick. It's Wolf.
Oh, no. What happened?
Nick did it. He ran over him.
No, I didn't. I just hit him. And I didn't even mean to, honest. I was practicing driving like, you said I could, and, just going backward and forward, and I felt a bump.
Please
you hit him.
Stop playing the dog crying. I need that to stop.
He's like, I'm just going backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. I was like,
look, I didn't see him, but no.
Yeah, so Nick, of course, is the cousin of the Mulligan. He's like a second cousin of Lisa's that they brought over because he lived in New York and he was
that's
getting
right. This is
getting
shitty Nick
to
from
New York
things.
Right,
This is Nick from New York. He smokes cigarettes, wears a leather jacket.
Nick is the role that they gave Chris Castile after his voice changed. He was originally Zachary, the kid who used a wheelchair. Chris Castile, being an actor who actually had a bit of a career outside of Adventures in Odyssey, he's the little blonde, bespectacled child on Step by Step.
that show took place in Wisconsin, I think. So that's where I'm from.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wisconsin, or as I like to call it, less good Michigan.
Or Wisconsin, as I like to call it, better than Michigan.
That's the opposite of the thing that I said.
I think we can all agree that both are better than Ohio.
That's your guy.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yes.
I have to tell you really quick that I go camping every summer in Wisconsin, and obviously I'm from Wisconsin. And my friend laughed because right as we crossed the border from Illinois to Wisconsin last summer, I was like, oh, Wisconsin, I can feel it in my bones.
Your bones?
She's like, I wasn't trying to be funny. She's like,
oofta, I feel it down in my bones.
Oofta.
Right.
Yeah.
Right in my holy bone.
Right into my holy bone. Yeah, I'm someone who says "ope" a lot.
Oh. Well, we're just going to sneak past you there and talk about the next thing in this episode.
We're going to scooch.
We're going to scooch right over. Okay. Now that this dog has been hit by the car, it is time for it to go into emergency care.
Yeah, because Tracy is a veterinarian, and also this family is just a family that hoards animals, including animals from the local zoo. Let's not forget, they have like giraffes.
What?
Yes. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. They never come into play. So
there's also mountain lions at one point. Well,
they don't own the mountain lion. The mountain lion is just there because they're
you can't own a
mountain
lion.
Oh, and also
they belong to the mountain.
Can you own the sea?
Also, the girl
Have you ever heard a wolf cry?
The girl is blind too, right? This is the one where the girl is blind. Yeah.
If you watch Gladiator movies, John Smith.
Lisa's blind.
Lisa's blind. They make one reference to it towards the end of the episode when Bernard tricks her by pretending to fall off of the loft of the barn by just making noises.
I didn't realize that's because she was blind. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, he was fucking with her. It's funny.
Yeah, so because this show is a radio show and is for many years basically the only radio show in existence, they have a lot of blind listeners, a lot of blind fans of Adventures in Odyssey.
Yeah.
And so every once in a while they will have a blind character on the show, but not as much as you might think.
Yeah.
Considering. But yeah, Lisa's the second recurring blind child on the show.
Pretty woke of them.
I don't know.
It was a different time. It just wasn't seen as woke in the late 90s or early 90s to do that. That was just what everyone was doing.
And it was also, I would say it's not so much about being woke as it is capturing an audience, right? Capturing a market. Because that's the thing that they're very fucking savvy about, actually.
How can we get some money out of these blind kids?
Exactly.
Like, I mean, as cynical as that sounds, that was seemingly the strategy.
I think so.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bernard now has some free time with these kids because they just have to wait to see what happens in surgery.
They're all fighting with
dog.
each other because she's like, "You ran over my dog." He's like, "I'm sorry." She's like, "Fuck you." And mom has to like work on the dog. So Bernard's like, "Come on out here, kids.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about the Bible."
Yeah. Time to tell you the story of Job.
And if you think life hasn't been fair to you, you ain't heard nothing yet.
Why? What happened to him?
Well, Job lived in the land of Uz.
As in the wonderful Wizard of?
No, as in the land in the ancient Middle East. He was a good man who feared God, and he was also a very prosperous man. He had 7 sons and 3 daughters, owned thousands of sheep and camel, hundreds of cattle and donkeys, and had many servants as well.
Guess he liked animals too, huh?
You could say that, yeah.
Yeah.
The Bible called Job the greatest man among the people of the East, and his righteousness was legendary.
I do like that Nick is making the joke and he doesn't even finish the sentence before Bernard says no.
No, fuck you.
It's like me with AJ.
Yes.
But it's also like you are on thin ice, guy. You just ran over a dog, so you're going to sit down and listen to how it could be so much worse for you.
You don't get to tell jokes right now, kid. So Job is one of those stories in the Bible that I think is one of the most powerful. It's generally classified in the Bible as being a poem, essentially. There's even rabbinical disagreement on whether the events of Job actually took place at all.
Yeah, whether people believe it. Yeah, it seems a lot more like if you compare it to something like Plato's Republic, where it's like that's not an actual conversation that Socrates had with the other people in town. This is a conceptual framework involving these characters all put together.
It is a Socratic conversation on the nature of suffering and the problem of evil, right? Why do bad things happen to good people? That is the question that Job is ultimately asking. And you wouldn't know it from this fucking telling of it.
My
Good
summary
Lord.
of this episode was blame yourself, despise yourself, repent, get hot daughters.
I mean, that's merch. That's merch right there. That's a t-shirt.
The merch that I wrote down, because I was like, I want this shirt so bad, is Job's wife. I wrote feminist icon, and it just says, curse God and die.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, I want that on a shirt.
So there's a Christian version of Magic the Gathering called Redemption cards.
Oh, that's right.
This game Redemption, you basically have this pool of villain cards, things that are aligned with the devil and damnation and hell, and then you have your hero cards. So, you have Goliath on one side, David on the other. One of the villain cards is Job's wife. They're straight up like, fuck this lady in particular.
Does she have a name?
No, she's just Job's wife. So it's like Jezebel, Goliath, the fleas from the pit and Job's wife.
I love her. I love her so much.
Satan, actually, this is an important point. It's not Satan in the book of Job.
Yeah, it is the construction. The word Satan does come from this, but it's not the tempter, the guy who wants to send us to hell. It's another construct. It's like a prosecutor who is in God's court with God.
Right.
Well, what I can say is that maybe he might be in God's court, but he's way too far over to the left. And then he's way too far over to the right.
He keeps panning back and forth.
But also the footsteps don't match the pan, and it's driving me. It sounds like he's so
Satan.
far over
He's
the left.
tricky.
He's
British.
Yeah,
he is.
He sounds like a Disney villain.
Yeah.
He sounds like Scar. He's like sort of Queenie and British.
Irons-coated. Yeah.
So Satan shows up in God's court, and this is what that sounds like.
Yes, Job was a righteous man, but he didn't know that someone was watching him, someone very evil.
Who?
It's the devil.
Be quiet, Nick.
No, actually, he's right.
He is?
I am?
Yeah. See, the next part of the story of Job takes place in the presence of God. One day, all the angels presented themselves before the Lord, and Satan was among them.
Amogus.
Satan.
Yes, Lord.
Where have you come from, evil one?
Lots of places. I've been
Can you get closer to the mic?
Going back and forth.
Have you considered my servant Job? How blameless and upright he is.
Yes, I've been watching him very closely. Very closely indeed.
There is no one on earth like him. He fears God and shuns evil.
Well, of course he does. Anyone would in his position.
Explain.
Do you not protect him night and day? Have you not placed a hedge around him and his household and all that he has? Have you not blessed him so that his flocks and herds spread throughout the land?
I have.
Then is it any wonder that Job loves you?
If you're listening on your headphones, you can hear Satan's just sort of zigzagging through the court.
In his Louboutins.
Yes.
And there's that's the thing. I have never heard someone serve cunt in an audio recording, but those shoes are fucking amazing.
I also
Incredible
took
shoes.
the note verbatim from my notes here. Satan is kinda cunty with it.
I have a bunch of notes about this from this whole episode, but my main takeaway is God's kind of an asshole.
Yes.
He's like,
he's
my guy
dumb.
Job, who's awesome? Go fuck with him a little.
And this is something that's very interesting about the book of Job is that the way that God is presented in this book, the character of God, is different from how he is portrayed literally anywhere else in the entire Bible.
Yeah, there is a commonality that shows up in other books of the Bible, such as the Book of Jubilees, which is not canon outside of Ethiopia, and the Dead Sea Scrolls, where we have a construct named Mastema, who is also serving in the role of Satan, of adversary to humanity. And this shows up in the Binding of Isaac story, when God tells Isaac to climb the mountain. That is another test of faith that comes from a dialectical face-off between God and Satan, but only in some versions. And here, God is so much more capricious. He has no connection whatsoever with humanity. This is very different from the God of Moses and Abraham, where he comes down and he's like, hey, what's up? Okay, let's chat here. I'm going to destroy Sodom. And no, please don't destroy Sodom. I'm going to do it. There's not enough good people. He's like, what if there's 10 good people? He's like, what if there's 5 good people? There's only 4, so I'm still going to do it. Here, this is a conception of God that is built on an understanding of the world that the believers are in. So he is a warlord. He is someone who is untouchable and far away, and God or somebody help you if you are to defy him, because he rules entirely through violence. So his beneficence is one thing, but he's always got the blade of a sword hovering over your head.
So this is the idea of God-fearing, right?
Yeah.
And
Job is a God-fearing man. That is famously the way that he's described. Yeah.
And they establish his goodness by saying not only does he do good things and take care of people, he also does the religious duties on behalf of people just in case they may have been the ones sinning.
Right. He is the ultimate good boy. And now we're going to torture him for a while.
Right.
I think that this portrayal of God makes him look incredibly dumb because he keeps like just ceding stuff to the devil in a way he's like, well, okay, I guess you can do that. Like in a way that makes me think of him as less omnipotent. And maybe it was just this telling of it. I don't think that's present in the original text. I think this is a God
that is neither omnipotent nor omniscient, because I don't think that is what people thought God was when this book was written. He is a God who has limitations of his perspective. This is something that comes up all the time in the Old Testament, that God has to be reminded to care about us.
That's why you pray.
Yeah. And Christians, this doesn't carry forward in a lot of Christian theology, although Josh and I know a Christian playwright, Andras Vishki, who's Hungarian, so he's a little weird with it, who believes this wholeheartedly. He says that you have to insult God sometimes so that he'll remember to pay attention to you.
Wow.
You got to neg God sometimes, yes.
I've never read the Bible, obviously, but the Old Testament is like kind of like badass stuff, right? And then isn't it
it's
like
pretty
it's darker
metal.
and it's
it's dark. There's like genocides and slavery and people getting dropped into giant holes that God just opens up beneath their feet. Cool shit.
Yeah.
The way that God responds to Satan or the Satan, right? This tempter's challenge is to be like
Mr. Satan.
Mr. Satan.
Actually, I grew up watching Superbook. And the conception of Satan that I had in my childhood was Satan as depicted in Superbook, which was an anime produced by CBN, Pat Robertson's channel. And Satan was this little green dude with a blonde mustache. I'll send the picture to you later.
Good stuff.
Funny.
Yeah, it is not on Google search, I'll tell you what.
God initially gives Satan the permission to do anything he wants to devastate Job without touching his body directly. But anything else is fair game. And so Satan does some damage.
Master Job! Master Job!
Josiah, you're supposed to be with my oxen and my donkeys. What's wrong?
Oh, Master, your oxen were plowing and your donkeys were grazing when Sabaeans attacked and stole them. I have only escaped to tell you.
Sabaeans? Oh, no. Master Job, brother. Well, you were with my sheep.
Oh, fire, Master, fire from God fell from the sky. It burned up all your sheep and servants.
It was just off screen.
I escaped to come and tell you.
No.
Master!
Abner, my camels.
The Chaldeans formed 3 raiding parties. They swept down on your camels and drove them off. Then they killed all your servants. And only I escaped to tell you.
This cannot be happening.
Master Job.
Zebulon, you were with my children.
Oh, Master, your sons and daughters were feasting when a mighty wind swept in from the desert and struck the house. It collapsed and killed them all. And their servants with them.
No.
Only I escaped to tell you, Master.
Oh, my Lord and my God.
Man, Satan didn't waste any time, did he?
I'm so sorry. Can we just hear that last part again?
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord and my God.
Oh. Wait. That sounded a little different.
Yeah.
What happened there?
I don't know. Maybe one more time for me.
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord and my God.
Oh. Huh. How did that happen? Weird. For people who listen to our show who aren't theater people, this is how every Greek tragedy is.
Yeah. Yes. This is the messenger coming off stage like, listen, some really horrible shit just happened off stage. You got to blind yourself,
This is
guy.
separated by 3 pages of Oedipus going, boy, I sure hope that guy I killed didn't turn out to be my dad. This guy who's coming up to me, I hope he doesn't tell me that. And the guy's like, so I'm here to tell you that. And he's like, fuck. Give me the knife.
Like Medea, where she's like, listen, I just murdered some babies and all these things happened and I'm just going to stand here and tell you about it.
And she's like floating above and Jason's like, I probably shouldn't have been such a dick.
It's not a big deal. It's other people's babies. It's fine. They weren't mine.
Another messenger heads on. I have some terrible news.
And this is part of the weird issue of trying to conflate not just Christian morality, but contemporary Christian morality with the morality of the Old Testament. Mm-hmm. In Judaism, this is less of a contradiction because in Judaism, there is a concept that God changes because he is constantly negotiating with us.
Right.
In Christianity, however, the Apostle Paul says God has never changed. Even though we have an old covenant and a new covenant, God and his nature have never actually shifted. And yet,
that's so interesting.
Yeah, and yet we have this modern movement that is all about the sanctity of life, to the point of even fetal life as being something that has to be protected, the destruction of which is an abomination to God. And here in 2 episodes of Adventures in Odyssey that we were listening to just this week, we have 2 different stories of children being sacrificed for their parents' sins, and then in the case of Job, children being sacrificed for no reason at all.
And this of course takes us to the next big point of the book of Job, which is these discursions about why a loving God could allow this sort of thing to happen. And again, in the actual book, this is the meat of it. These friends of Job aren't really real people so much as they are embodiments of different perspectives of why bad things happen.
Yeah.
So you get the one guy who's like, oh, well, you just fucked up too much. You were, you blew
obviously did something bad.
Right.
Just admit that you did something bad.
And I think importantly too, right? After all these bad things happen, Job still praises God. And I think we have a clip of that.
Oh, yes, we do.
Naked I came. Oh.
So,
come on. Come on.
Job says, naked I came, into this world, and naked I shall depart, right?
Yes,
the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh. Yeah. That's where that comes from. May the name of the Lord be praised.
Can I hear that again?
Sure. Yeah, we can.
Naked I came.
Welcome to the podcast, Brooke. Please never leave.
But let's roll a couple more clips here, shall we? We've got Job's wife.
Yes, we've got the redemption card herself.
Job, are you still holding on to your integrity?
What
my
accent?
husband?
Bizarre choice.
Curse God and die.
What a kind, pleasant shrew she was.
Did Job finally
sexist
cave?
language.
Nope. You are talking like a foolish woman. Shall we accept good from God and not trouble?
I should note that this is the second phase of Satan's whole thing, where he's like, okay, he praised you, but what if I did something to his body?
Right.
And God's like, okay, don't kill him, but like go nuts.
Yeah, and Satan's like, okay, boils head to toe.
boils everywhere. And so Job is in a corner scraping pus with broken shards of pottery.
Yeah.
Did he call her a forest woman?
Foolish woman.
Oh.
What is this, Hamnet?
Why did I marry this wood elf? Oh, I can basically do the Job voice. You are a foolish woman. I gotta keep scraping. Actually, it feels kind of good.
Hand me my itching stick, woman.
And then go back to the forest. And in that forest, there better not be a big hole at the bottom of the tree that symbolizes death, and you better not gaze into it with our little boy.
You better not birth a child out in those woods, woman.
Or I'm gonna write a soliloquy while staring into the Thames that's gonna blow your fucking minds, dude.
We also get a little bit from Job's friends.
I hate my life. Oh God, why have you made me your target?
How long will you keep speaking empty words, Job? Is God's justice twisted? If you were blameless, he would hear your prayer and bless you. God doesn't forget a good man, nor does he allow evildoers to prosper.
I know all that, Bildad, but how can a man be truly good in the eyes of God? So, what's the use of trying? Oh God, don't just condemn me. Tell me why you are doing it.
Did you hear who he was talking to there? It was Bildad.
Bildad
The Shuhite. Yes, he was the shortest man in the book of Job.
I liked when he said God doesn't allow evildoers to prosper. I was like, yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Right.
Nodding.
And then that's what the book says. It's like, yes, it fucking does. Are you kidding me? Have you heard of the Pharaoh, dumbass?
But what's weird, right, is that as written, the entire point of these discourses is to be like the perspectives that are being presented, other than curse God and die, obviously, which is just straight up unacceptable.
Yeah.
What everybody is saying isn't wrong exactly. It's just incomplete. So being like, oh, well, clearly you're getting what was yours because you did something wrong. Like, that's not true, but nor is Job presented as being like perfect. He's just very God-fearing. He's a good man.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, there are some new perspectives that are developing on this. I was reading some work by an academic named Edward Greenstein. He has written a new translation of Job. There's a lot of trouble that we have with Job. In some senses, it feels like it's a much older book than everything else. There is a thought that because it's not set in Israel, it's set in, somewhere east of there in Uz, that maybe it's something that came in from another culture. That's kind of not really the academic idea that they hold anymore. The idea is actually this is written post-Babylonian exile after the return, when a lot of the rest of the Old Testament is being written. But it's being written by a guy who's doing pastiche. He is writing in an old-style language. So what Greenstein has done in the years that he worked on this translation was he found all of these connecting points from different languages, meaning that the author of this book must have spoken these different languages.
Wow.
And is writing specifically for an urbane, probably Jerusalemite audience in the days following their time in Babylon.
Well, that's very interesting too, if this is post-exile, where it's like, we then, as a people, are seeking a reason to understand how this could all have happened, right?
Exactly. We're God's chosen people, and he keeps letting all this shit happen to us. Fucking all the time. We're supposedly in the promised land, and we keep getting removed from it and coming back. And why would that be happening to us if we're doing the right thing? We're sacrificing our sheep. We're not eating pork. We're doing all the right shit. You can't just deny that it happens, and you can't always say it's because we did something wrong. So you have to take a deeper philosophical analysis. And Job has the stones here to say, thinking in terms of a king or a warlord or an emperor, I demand an audience with the king.
And he gets it.
Also, what happens in this episode of Adventures in Odyssey is that
a dog dies.
The dog dies.
I was like so into what you were saying, and then I was like, oh yeah, I forgot we were doing this. But then it made me laugh because at the bottom of my page, there's all this stuff about Job, and then it just says, Nick doesn't seem that sorry about the dog. And I was
no. He hit and killed a dog.
He's from New York. He sees that kind of shit all the time.
Nick's kind of a prick. He smokes cigarettes. He's not politically correct.
One of the very strange things about this episode to me is that I feel like they do not treat the loss of the dog with anywhere near as much gravity as it deserves.
I wrote that this is the most incompetent episode of Adventures in Odyssey we've ever listened to.
It's sort of like how the Book of Job treats all the dead children.
No, because it doesn't matter. The dead children are a metaphor. They're a device. They're not like real. You know what I mean?
To Job they are, in the same way that this episode is a metaphor, but to Lisa the dog
but
is
Job is very forthright about like everything with his kids. He feels fucking awful.
Yeah, but he gets new kids. Lisa gets a new puppy. They literally do it.
Here's the other thing. I'm going to be honest. Lisa's real annoying.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, she doesn't deserve to have her dog run over back and forth, which I think is what he did. But she kind of sucks.
It's also important to note at this point in our adventure in Odyssey, Bernard has told Lisa that she is being overly self-righteous about the loss of her dog.
Yes, he's like, look, you're very compassionate, but that makes you a dick, actually.
Have you considered to stop being one?
Yeah, and do you realize how fucking, like, cocky it is to think that you have more morality than the guy who made a bet with Satan to give a guy boils for no reason? You think you're better than him?
Yes.
So what happens to Job is he demands his audience with God, and then he sees the time knife.
Who is this that darkens my counsel by words without knowledge?
My Lord and my God.
Now brace yourself like a man. I will ask you, and you will instruct me. Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Tell me if you know.
Lord.
Who decreed the boundaries of the seas when they gushed from the depths? Have you ever once commanded the morning to appear and caused the dawn to rise in the east?
No, Lord.
Have you visited the treasuries of snow or seen where hail is made and stored? Can you hold back the stars? Do you know the laws of the universe and how the heavens influence the earth? Do you have any true understanding of the way the world works?
I am nothing. How could I ever find the answers? I cover my mouth in silence. I have said too much already.
Stand up like a man and brace yourself. Are you as strong as God? And can you shout as loudly as he?
This is like Conan the Barbarian. Are you as strong as God? Can you shout as loudly as he?
I really love this text. It's some of my favorite writing in the Bible, but I feel like this is just the wrong way to be presenting this. They should have gotten Earl Bowen to do it, first of all.
It's also the same reverb effect for the same voice actor doing the announcer previously.
Exactly.
So it's just like, oh, that's the BTV announcer who's really jealous of Sam Johnson. Sam Johnson, have you seen where the snow is stored?
Can you hold back the stars, Sam
You
Johnson?
think you're good enough to host a local access TV show over me who set the foundations of the earth?
I just wanted to take a second here to talk about something that I think is kind of interesting.
Yeah,
sure.
This whole bit here is key to Carl Jung's interpretation of the Book of Job. You ever hear about this guy, Carl Jung, Brooke?
Yeah.
No, so Jung's whole idea of the Book of Job is that God fucked up. He was so lost in the sauce in this debate, basically, with Satan, that he got out over his skis and unfairly penalized this man. And when called to account for it, basically just threw a bunch of bluster out there about how he's the big bad guy. And then also in Jung's interpretation, the entire reason and necessity for Jesus to come and like do his sacrifice was not actually to atone humanity of its sins against God, but to atone God of his sins against humanity.
I loved it when God showed up and was like, are you talking shit about me?
Yeah.
Just because I covered you in boils and sent Satan to you?
This is a fucked up thing to say, right?
Yeah,
and
this is very abusive.
And if you want to really wrestle with this text, as many have done, you need to account for the fact that God here appears to be a fucking dick.
Let's just take a walk in God's shoes.
And we have his DNA.
Let's just get on the transmuter.
Yeah.
And think about, he's tired. He had to create the whole world. And he had to,
in 7 days.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Oh, by the way, quick point about the transmuter. Guess how many more episodes the transmuter appears in, Brooke?
I feel like the answer is either going to be 0 or like 100.
The answer is 0.
The answer is 0. We never see it. So a fucking angel appears to Whit and is like, invent the transmuter. And Whit's like, this is great. Thanks God for giving me this. I ran out of ideas for it.
It genuinely seems to have put in the show just for me to be able to use it in my fan fiction.
Yes.
That is the sole purpose of the transmuter.
Given that God appears to have been cruel, capricious, unyielding, unlistening.
Yeah.
You might think that there could be bigger questions to ask here about like, who is God? How do we consider God? What do we consider ourselves in relationship to God? Well, Bernard lets us know what the real point is.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, when the creator of the universe talks, you want to listen. And if he's angry with you, well, then you really want to listen.
Yeah. So did God forgive Job?
Well, as a matter of fact, he did. In fact, God not only forgave Job, he restored all of Job's property to him.
He did?
Yes, and more. God gave Job thousands of sheep, camel, cattle, and donkeys, and God blessed him with 10 more children.
Oh,
and in all the land, there were no other women more beautiful than Job's daughters.
Not his wife, who doesn't get mentioned at
Job
the end.
Himself, he lived another 140 years and saw his children and grandchildren to the 4th generation.
Cool.
Does that mean you get the point?
Point? There was a point to all of this?
Yeah, I knew it. Went in one ear and out the other, didn't it?
I'm kidding.
Stupid little girl.
Of course I get the point.
Oh, good. What is it?
My arms are too short to box with God.
Meaning?
Whenever I think life isn't treating me fair, I need to put the blame where it belongs. Sometimes it's with others, like Satan, and sometimes it's right here, with me.
I guess you were listening after all. Just remember that God is always in control, Lisa. even when bad things are happening.
This is, as someone who listened to this as a kid, as a little Southern Baptist boy, this was entirely unconvincing, right? This is totally against what the book has been saying the whole time. Job is righteous the whole time.
Yeah.
Job's meeting with God ends with a line that is usually translated as him saying he will repent in dust and ashes. This is one of the more contentious lines within the last century or so. I'm sure this discussion was happening when Carl Jung was analyzing the scripture. Greenstein's translation, the one that he did in 2019, is worded as, I take pity on dust and ashes. Dust and ashes being God's creation, this term repent. We're also dealing with this idea of truth versus virtue. Everyone's saying, oh yeah, well, you're a bad guy because God's punishing you. You have to admit that you're a bad guy and you have to repent. And Job is like, well, I haven't done anything bad. And through everything else, through everyone telling him how awful he is, he maintains that he followed the path of virtue. And truth is the highest virtue in this theology. Because truth, breath, right? This is another thing that Jung gets into, the idea of breath and spirit, the conflation of air, thought, mind, and soul. Truth being spoken through the breath from the soul is the greatest expression of God's presence on earth. And God respects Job for that. All of this like challenging him, yeah, he's a warlord. It's almost like, if you're like, oh, I have a complaint with the emperor, and then you get an audience with the emperor, you don't go in and be like, hey, fucko. No, you go in, you bow, and you say, oh, yes, almighty great emperor. You do the whole thing. Like if you go to court and you're dealing with the state, you still have to say, yes, your honor, sit and stand at the right times, wear the right clothes, whatever, even if you're in the right. And so that is more or less what is happening at the end, but it's also not, you can't just say, oh, here's the point of Job.
Right.
That's not what it's written as. There are a lot of ambiguities. There are a lot of uncomfortable things.
It's a dialogue.
Yes.
And the entire point of a dialogue then is that the reader also participates in the dialogue.
It is a work of literature and is one of the greatest works of literature, as Josh and I both seem to agree on this.
I think it's really a really, really cool book that's unlike anything else in the entire Bible.
And you know what my response to it is? Wow. I put the blame entirely with God. I think I'm of that opinion. I think that at the end that sometimes God fucks you over and you should be held accountable for that. So I am declaring my mission to kill God.
Oh, okay.
I have a whole troop of anime friends.
I was gonna say I've got some RPGs I could recommend you.
Yeah, and we're gonna storm the castle.
I think, like, as someone who has never heard any of this, I'm actually kind of intrigued to read this. And like, I want to know more about it, like as a piece of literature and like thought, I want to look at it. Right. But as someone who doesn't know anything, this episode, listening to it as an adult, I found confusing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what is the message? And then when he's like, here's the message, I was like, was that really that?
It doesn't seem like the message, right?
No, I felt like you did. I was like, this feels like way too big to be covered in this little episode.
I think it could be covered in an episode that was well written, but we also had to like throw in this fucking dead dog plot alongside of it. And it just got really, really messy.
I think if you're going to cover Job, you can't say, and here's the point of Job, because Job doesn't say, here's the point of Job. You just have to present it.
It just kind of ends. That's the thing about the book, right? After God has finished basically yelling at Job for a couple chapters, Job's like, yeah, man, I get it. You're God. I hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
And then and then he gets all his shit back, and that's the end.
Yeah, but if they didn't have a moral to it, if Bernard could not say, this is what the book of Job means, it would mean that authority figures wouldn't necessarily have all the answers.
Yeah.
And that's a thing that Odyssey dabbles in, but it's really fucking rare.
Well, to the point of authority figures and the things that they do and which ones are good and which ones are bad. We're back on our bullshit with this next episode here. This is episode 460, Nova Rising, a continuation of the Novaccom saga, which is sort of the serialized storyline that we are now digging into on this show.
Yeah, because the lore is very present here.
This is originally from February 3, 2001, and it was written by Marshall Younger and directed by Paul McCusker.
And this is actually interesting. This period of time, Paul McCusker doesn't really write anything because he's the executive producer of the show, and he almost never directs. He is still the showrunner for Adventures in Odyssey, but we don't get any scripts by him.
And the heir apparent seems to be Marshall Younger.
Yeah.
Setting up here, yeah.
And I think Marshall's position these days is the role of showrunner, where Phil Lawler's kind of a creative head. Just to also give a little rundown for the Novacom saga, this is very, very short. These two kids, Alex and Cal, they've been fucking around with computers at Campbell County Community College. They saw Eugene Meltzner just off in the corner, and then he disappeared. They found that he was
running
working
so fast.
Yeah.
They got contacted by a hacker who they decided to talk to, these minors. The hacker was named Aram, and Aram directed them to the back door of the Campbell County Community College website, where they then found files regarding some kind of mysterious radio wave study that Eugene was working on. Meanwhile, a company called Novacom, which I'm sure is completely unrelated to all of that,
must have nothing to do with
has
that.
moved into town. They're starting up a radio station, a TV station, a website, and they're going to have some physical locations with, I suppose, immersive experiences for kids to enjoy, thereby infringing on the market share of Whit's End, the ice cream shop and Discovery Emporium owned by John Avery Whitaker.
They just got a transmuter in there.
They have also been setting up radio towers all over town by acquiring plots of land from local small business owners, including but not limited to Tom Riley, who owns that farm that has the Christian Retreat Center on it.
So for the last 5 minutes, Brooke, I know that your head has been making an sound, but that's where we are for this episode.
I want you to know that Jake was so excited when I told him that I was doing the Nova Rising. I was like, then an episode called Nova, and he was like, you're getting to do Nova Rising. And I was like, what is this? For people who are so against D&D, this like level of lore and planning.
Well, how do you feel about the lore, Brooke? Is this exciting to you? Are you thrilled?
I mean, no. I wrote, this was the episode where I was like, what?
What is happening?
I wrote the summary of this episode. The moral summary was read your contracts. That's what I wrote.
Yeah.
The thing about the serialized episodes is that there aren't necessarily morals to them, which is why I find them so much more tolerable than any other dreck that Odyssey throws at me. Because at the end, it's not like, well, we sure learned a lot about contract law today, didn't we? It was like, no, we learned about this nefarious organization and there's mysteries there.
Yeah.
There's things that make me want to listen to the next episode. So as much shit as we give the lore, at least it's fucking something.
Well, let's get underway. Let's get underway here because we got big news, folks. The school computer lab has some new computers in it, and Alex and Cal are going to have the opportunity to play with them.
Where did these come from? They're all Pro Max 2000s. These are the best computers on the market. You got it. 5 of them. Are they staying here?
Yeah, they were donated.
Who donated them?
A new business called Novacom Broadcasting. They gave computers to all the area schools.
Why?
Probably just to promote themselves. You know, get their name out in public. Check out these brochures. They got a radio station, a TV station, they're on the internet. Oh, let me show you something.
What?
The Novacom website. I got on yesterday. It's pretty cool. This is their whole programming schedule.
Oh yeah, I've seen some of these shows. It's Channel 25.
Yep. 25 used to show old movies and stuff, but Novacom owns it now.
I mean, this really does recall the internet of the time.
This is what the internet felt like in 2001, yeah.
Yeah, this is all flash. You had to wait like 5 minutes for the page to load, and then something would sort of pop up.
Welcome to Zombocom.
When he's like, they're on the internet. I was like, oh.
Whoa! And previously, we haven't covered this episode. I almost did this with Colette last year, but it just got elbowed out by some better episodes.
Sure.
There is an episode where Alex created a website and got addicted to being a webmaster. And he'd write like blog posts about the things going on at Whit's End because he's 11 years old in Odyssey and that's the only thing happening in his life. Yeah. And then he had to quit because of his screen addiction.
Well, I mean, so this is the first time where I'm like, I understand what Novacom is parodying. The first time when we were talking about it, I was like, okay, so this is about their experience working with the animation department for the animated series of Adventures in Odyssey.
Yeah.
This is a lot of just like old grudges being brought to the foray. And now I'm like, no, Novacom is 1000% Nickelodeon because this was Nick.com back in the day, right? It was made by kids for kids.
Yeah, I came to a different conclusion, but we'll get to that in 1 second. I also just wanted to reintroduce Cal and Alex, mostly for Brooke's sake. Cal is played by Adam Pavlakovich, who is Katie Lee's son. Katie Lee is the one who plays Connie. She wasn't really present in these episodes. She was the voice of Eve. Alex is played by Travis Tedford, who was Spanky in The Little Rascals.
Oh, wow.
That was Dobson's favorite Little Rascal, I think, Spanky.
The big thing about this website, right, is that Novacom is soliciting suggestions from children about how they can make their program, their whole thing that they're doing, which is pretty unclear at this point, actually. How they can make it work better. They have a television network now. And
Channel 25.
And basically the kids go to Whit's End and they debrief Whit about sort of the things they've been learning.
Yeah, they get an actual job, unpaid.
They have a section called Novacom for Kids. It's where they let kids create and run part of their website. So I contacted them.
We contacted them.
And they do it all from their headquarters. And they said they want me to come.
Us to come.
Would you stop that? They called us and they want us to help them.
Well, that sounds great. Doing what?
Coming up with cool kid stuff. Mostly about all the TV and radio programming they do. So we'll have to do some homework.
You'll have to do some homework.
What kind of homework?
Well, we have to watch some of their shows and review them and get other kids' responses through the website.
So, have you seen any of the shows they broadcast?
Oh, yeah, they're the best. There's this one called The Kickboxing Kids, where 12-year-olds fight the forces of evil with only their hands, their feet, and their witty repartee.
Yeah, I've heard some kids talking about that program. It sounded awfully violent.
Okay.
Oh,
Shut the fuck up.
Kids aren't bothered about violence anymore.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm afraid of. Now, have you discussed this job with your parents?
My dad couldn't care less. He likes their shows.
Well, my parents won't let me watch most of the shows, but I came up with a solution.
We came up with a solution.
Cal will review the shows that I'm not allowed to watch, and I'll review the shows I am allowed to watch.
Well...
What's wrong?
This Novacom broadcasting seems to be building up a lot of influence around here, and, well, I'm just not sure it's the kind of influence we want. I think we need to be very careful before we buy into everything they're doing.
Oh, it's so violent. Unlike my fucking imagination station where you can go in and watch people bleed out in warfare.
Also, a man exploded in the basement of this building.
That is true.
Just a couple years ago.
Get in this transmuter and watch Brock's dad beat the shit out of everybody.
Yeah. Get beaten by a drunk man or just watch a show about child kickboxers. Who gives a fuck?
Shut up.
But also, like, Whit is like, only I can hire children.
Yes.
You're taking my workforce.
But also thing number 2, I am listening to this and I am hearing, me personally, I don't know if any of you are hearing this, but I am hearing, at least implicitly, fear of, I don't know, shall we say, rootless cosmopolitans who control everything in the media establishment.
Yeah, you mean the English?
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Oh.
It's just othering, whether it's no matter what. Like even the guy that comes in is like British and drinks cappuccinos. It's like these are different people than us, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But children's access to violence, I mean, it's really, I don't know. It's really a difficult thing, but it's certainly, kids live in the world. Like they see it. They know things exist. They're way smarter than we give them any credit for, right? So finding a way to be able to discuss it with them or explain it to them is important.
What about child kickboxers specifically?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm all in for that.
Okay, great.
Yeah, 100%.
I was a playwright in my past life.
Oh,
and and I wrote this play that like did very well. It was a 10-minute play, and it did really well, and it had like people behind it, and it was performed a bunch of times. And it was about a vegetarian who works at a butcher shop.
Oh, that's good.
No way.
They say it, and when they said it, I was crying. They were like, this sounds really dumb and mainstream, like a vegetarian working at a butcher shop.
And he was telling me this story about an idea for an episode that started out about a vegetarian who gets a job as a butcher. But after about 14 drafts, it ends up being about a veterinarian who gets a date with a butcher, you see.
Huh.
Okay, Whit. So now I hate Whit.
Yes.
You can take a good look at a butcher's ass by sticking your head up there, but wouldn't you rather take his word for it?
Where it's like it shows how the ideas change over time. Because, writing more and more drafts of something and changing the nature of the story is a bad thing to the people who write Adventures in Odyssey. One and done.
Absolutely one and done. One and done.
First idea, best idea, always. And the whole reason we hear about this process of writing iteration is that along with soliciting the services of these boys,
I don't like that phrasing. Keep going. I just wanted to let people know that I disapprove.
Okay. But also that's what they're doing. Like I don't know how else to put it.
It is. It is what they're doing.
They're hiring these kids to work on their website for free is a way that you can say that.
Yeah, this is like on our podcast when we talk about Rent a Teen. Dobson's always like, just call the school and get a girl child to come over.
My church did that, and we called it Rent a Kid.
No! Bernard Walton has gotten some fantastic news. Novacom wants to pick up his show, and not only do they want it, he's already signed.
My window washing days are over.
What?
You're right. I don't believe it. What are you talking about, Bernard?
You better sit down. No, I better sit down. Boy, I
Take that
haven't
suit
been
of
this
armor off.
excited since Ruby's Diner installed an all-glass front to their extension.
Bernard.
I got great news, Whit. Novacom Broadcasting bought BTV.
What?
I don't know if it needed that big of a sting.
Yeah, that music means that this is going to go very well.
He can retire forever now, right? He's got an office full of equipment that he has no idea how to use.
He's got a swivel chair.
For some reason.
Yeah.
No, this is a good joke about Bernard is that like he's just a guy who knows his stuff and nothing else. So he has this office with an automatic pencil sharpener and he spends an entire day just sharpening pencils, but also like putting paper clips in there. That's a good joke. I like it.
But Whit is concerned. Whit's like, well, what are these people going to do to your ideas?
They're going to let you produce BTV just like you always have?
No, they're going to let me produce it better than I always have. Oh, you should see the cameras in the studio. BTV's going to be slicker than a grease pole with grease all over it.
Well, I'm talking about the show's themes, the content. Will they let you do the Bible shows?
Whit, you think I'd sign with them if they wouldn't?
You've signed with them? You've already got a contract?
Yeah.
Jesus, get out of my fucking business, Whit. Christ's sake.
Whit's a dream crusher.
Yes. But like Bernard's been assured that they're going to be able to talk about biblical topics. Right. And Whit is like, I don't think that you're going to do the gospel any favors by sharing screen time with kickboxing children.
Yeah. And it's also not national. I thought they were going to take Bernard national, but it only reaches the furthest limits of Connellsville.
Yeah, it's got about the same sort of like market area size as Tool Time.
Yes.
Where it's like, why does he live in a house that good? This is only playing in Detroit. But yeah, this is about selling out.
Yeah.
Bernard sells out. And it's so interesting to talk about like the way that the culture war has split up entire ideas now. In the 90s, everyone was talking about the same stuff.
I really liked to listen to this as though, because I don't know anything about Whit, but I liked everyone has to stay in their place and like change is not allowed. So it's like, listen, Squeegee Man, you are not better than me. You are not going to change.
Oh, you think you're going Hollywood, huh?
That's like cutting, like no spoiler, but like cutting to the end when he's like, here, take your bucket back.
Take your stuff back. No, that's worth talking about here. There's an off-screen subplot where Bernard has sold all of his janitorial equipment. This is pretty expensive stuff. This is professional grade stuff for cleaning windows on storefronts and everything else. He has sold them to the local dinner theater.
That's right.
Yes.
Is Edwin going to use these as props?
No. He's going to use them on Shakespeare.
Shakespeare is the name of Edwin's bottom in this series.
Yes. He's going to make sure he's squeaky clean.
They accidentally wrote a gay couple without realizing that that's what
really
they
cool.
did.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
But there's an older episode where Edwin is obsessed with getting Bernard to make a one-man show. So I do like to think that this is just his lifelong journey to make a play about the life of a janitor living this sort of like Dickensian reality.
Death of a janitor.
But then also off screen, Whit ends up buying the equipment from Edwin and then gives it back to Bernard. We don't say for sure if it's given back or if it's sold back because Whit likes the deal.
It felt a little like sinister to me.
Very
sinister. Like I knew you'd fail. Here's your bucket. Yeah.
Back and Bernard goes like, I'm back, Whit, when all of this takes place in the course of less than a week.
Yeah.
So
my
you
dream
never left.
failed. Yeah.
Brooke, are you familiar with Focus on the Family's forays into media more broadly, like their animated shows and videotapes and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Well, no, not their animated stuff. Jake just bought like 800 VHS tapes that I think are Focus on the Family. Yeah.
There are those, which are mostly, I think what Jake's looking at currently are like lectures, the interview with Ted Bundy, that kind of stuff. But what Focus on the Family did throughout the 90s was they were, because of the success of Odyssey especially, they were like, we're going to establish ourselves as like an alternate Disney. We are going to make family-oriented movies and books and all of these things. Novels, not just instructional books.
Yeah.
And these are going to be pure entertainment with Bible verses and shit in them. So their big expensive things were, the first one was McGee and Me, which is about this. It's all in live action except for these animated segments. It's kind of like Lizzie McGuire.
It's a
this
lot
kid
like
has
Lizzie
a sort
McGuire.
of animated alter ego. Those videos were so successful, they actually proved the viability of the home video market for Christian movies. So Bible Man and everything else, Gerbert, that got put on tape and was bought by Christians all from Christian bookstores throughout the 90s, early 2000s, that was all because of McGee and Me.
But by the time we get to the early 2000s, Focus has already largely exited that market. This episode, I think, is in part a reflection on what they saw as having to water down their message for the sake of commercial appeal.
Right. Because McGee and Me did, in fact, play on CBS a couple of times, like one or two of their episodes, and all they had to do was just excise the little parts where a Bible verse was mentioned, and then it was able to play just fine. Presumably, they didn't have a problem with it because they kind of designed the show that way at that point, and then later realized, oh, we're just kind of getting screwed here. Adventures in Odyssey, the cartoon, also got some airplay here and there with Christian channels, but also got play on... It was either Channel 4 or ITV over in the UK, like something that was not an explicitly like Christian TBN type of thing. But yeah, here we see kind of the fruits of that failure. Last Chance Detectives has happened. They blew millions of dollars on that. And they're mostly like done with that kind of video content going forward until 2026.
I picked up on it a little bit, but didn't know the details. There's like some bitterness in it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, these people want to come in. I mean, Whit doesn't know a single thing about what they're planning. And he's still like, oh, this is bad. This is dangerous. We don't like outsiders.
And Whit as a character doesn't even watch TV. He doesn't own a TV. So here he is telling fucking Bernard, well, what if your show that I've never seen gets worse because of this other channel that I've also never seen?
Because you signed a contract that you did not fully read, which, you know, that's on
that's a real
Bernard.
thing.
That's a real thing. And that's also a very real thing.
Yeah.
But it's also that Whit knows anything about television production or storytelling. Like, that's sort of like, I guess he does, because the Imagination Station is his own private
But this is the thing about Whit, is his impulses are always correct. His gut is right 100% of the time, which I think is one of the strongest reflections of James Dobson.
I think it's interesting that he, instead of this idea of like, oh, great, we can really spread our message this way, his takeaway is like, oh, there's a lot of fear about this because this TV company has a ton of power. They're more powerful than we are.
And you know who they have on their writing staff? An Italian named Mario Plizzo.
That was insane. I was like, we're doing a Mario Puzo reference? Really?
Yeah. Bernard has a meeting with his writer's room now.
Right.
And turns out they've kind of, I don't know, mutinied against him and against God.
Yeah, these types of shows might only appeal to the religious. And, well, we certainly don't mind those types of shows. We think that some members of our audience might be offended.
Exactly.
But I thought you said...
I know what you're thinking, Bernard. But listen to some of the themes we've been discussing for the first season. Go ahead, Barbara. You give him yours.
We start off with BTV nutrition.
Good one, huh? Not only is it a subject we can all agree on, but there's a lot of comedy in food, am I right?
Comedy in food?
Oh, yeah, food is funny. Especially some of those things in the dairy group. Cottage cheese. Hey, don't get me started.
You put any kind of yogurt in front of me, I'm on the floor.
Okay.
What?
Here's week 2.
What?
Murphy,
BTV pollution. Very important to teach our kids not to throw trash everywhere.
Lib shit. Who cares?
Yeah. The first one is funny because it's like, you guys are just insane and writing the worst show ever. I do love the voice that Katie Lee is doing for that
It's
writer.
very funny.
But I love that they say all that. And I'm like, but VeggieTales.
VeggieTales is from a different studio.
Oh.
Yeah.
And a woke one. So
Yeah.
I do have to wonder if they're trying to get a dig in at Phil Vischer and the gang over at Big Idea Productions.
Well, I wrote down nutrition, pollution, and plant care are all very important issues that I think.
Liberals.
Yeah, and that show about pollution sounds fucking awesome, where the trash throws out the people.
Yeah, that sounds
I'm
good.
so into
That's
it.
a good idea.
They propose a dystopian future where the trash runs the earth and the people are the trash's trash.
I want to see that movie so bad.
It's a funny
That's a sketch idea. That's a funny thing.
And Bernard's like, no, that would be fun.
Yeah. So Bernard's ideas were, let's do episodes about the Bible, faith, and sacrifice. And like pollution totally fits in with biblical principles of stewardship, also plant care. And you can even fit nutrition stuff in there too. A lot of current day cranks are actually really big in the nutrition circuit on the Christian right.
By the way, is the bit where they're like, cottage cheese, don't get me started, is that a direct dig at that one episode of Adventures in Odyssey we listened to with the joke about the cottage cheese house?
Oh, shit.
Maybe?
Right. Oh, because they didn't like that writer.
No. They're just like, I don't know, give me a bad joke. And then he wrote the bad joke.
Maybe.
You know what
I don't know. Because they
know.
get digs in on their own people every once in a while.
I didn't even think about that, but yeah, it could very well be making fun of Snow, DeWitt, and the 7 Deadly Dwarves, which is a thing I put these boys through, and I did not put you through, Brooke.
Thank
so,
you.
Consider me the most moral podcast host in the universe.
That is very true. I will also say that every pitch that they give to him actually, I think, vastly improves BTV to the point where I'm like, I need a whole show about Banana Manny, which is the man in the banana suit that is his co-host that carries around a bicycle horn with him.
Yeah, he's just describing Harpo Marx, which is a classic. Everyone loves Harpo.
Yeah. Harpo's the one people like.
Parallel to Bernard's adventures in the writing room, the boys have been surfing the web on the Novacom website.
They're downstairs. They're on the API.
That's right.
For Novacom. They're helping build Novacom's version of Zoog Disney.
They're on the intranet.
Yes.
And they get a message from the hacker from before.
He's a hacker. He could be dangerous.
What is he gonna do? Email us to death? It's only a computer. Look, just tell him we're not gonna talk to him anymore.
Hi, guys.
We're not supposed to talk to you.
Really? Who says?
The pedophile hacker.
The police. They're after you.
I'm innocent.
I don't believe you.
It's Novaccom you should worry about.
Novacom?
Do you want the password?
To what?
Special projects?
Type yes. Yes.
No.
Ugh.
Try Nova Rising.
That's this episode.
Told you I didn't.
Bye.
So they open up special projects and they see the same radio wave study from the internal files at Campbell County Community College that Eugene was presumably working on. And then their boss, because they have a boss, they're in this open plan office, again, building Zoog Novacom. And their boss just comes by and is like, hi, hey, you guys having fun? You're fired.
Fired immediately. So
gone.
Basically then, the boys and Bernard regroup in Whit's End, having both been fired. And everybody...
Actually, no, they're in the front of the Novacom
Oh, that's
building.
what it is.
They're still heading out
They're
because
out
then
in
Bernard gets that
the
notification.
fucking lobby. They've both been basically marched out. They both resigned.
Yeah, I like to think that the boys are also carrying a box of stuff, even though they didn't have their own office.
Yeah, and I really wanted the person that hired them, that fired these kids, to be like, turns out hiring kids is illegal.
But they commiserate, which means to feel bad for each other, by the way. And
Thank you, Josh.
that basically results in Whit telling everybody that he knew what was right all along.
Well, it was fun while it lasted. At least the pencil sharpener was.
Same here. Cal and I got fired too.
You did?
Yep.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. They lost 2 fine employees.
3.
Yeah.
But Aram tries to contact Bernard. And I love the idea that Aram is the Nick Fury of Odyssey that is just trying to assemble his Avengers to take down Novacom.
And Bernard just sees the notification. We hear the Aram sound and he's like, what is that? I'm going home.
Yeah.
Refusal to call. Refusal to call.
Don't talk to the hackers.
And so Chris takes us home.
You know, even though Bernard may have lost his chance to produce BTV for a bigger audience, God tells us that he'll be blessed anyway because he did what was right. You know, there'll be many times in your life when people will expect you to compromise your faith, and they'll even come up with reasons to do it. But if you stand firm for what you believe, God will say, well done, my good and faithful servant. I'm sure that those are words all of us would love to hear.
And I remember this specific closer to Adventures in Odyssey, and I internalized it, which is why I'm here. And I am not an acolyte of Focus on the Family today, because I found that my own morals and positions that I was raised with through the scriptures were being horrifically violated at every turn by this political apparatus. Another thing I have to note here is that Bernard walks out this door, he gets his janitor equipment back, and Dave Madden, the actor who plays him, does not appear on Adventures in Odyssey for another 2 years after this point.
Wow.
So he is gone for the whole Novacom saga. I think this is actually just because this is when Dave Madden retired and moved to Florida.
Okay.
And then once they got a union contract, which was after Novacom, they were able to get him back to make some more Adventures in Odyssey for a few years.
And qualify for some more pension and stuff. Yeah, that's not bad.
So I love that his refusal of the call of hanging up on Aram is him hanging up on the Novacom saga entirely.
Yeah.
It's like,
nope, dramaturgically sound in a way.
Thank you so much for taking me on this journey.
This adventure in Odyssey.
My brain hurts. Everything hurts. And
I told you to take off the suit of armor.
Yeah, that's on you at the end of the day.
But mostly I just feel the same level of like irritation, annoyance. I mean, it's funny and we laugh, but also I'm like, real kids are really sitting and listening to this. I asked Jake a lot. I'm like, where is everyone's parents? I've said that a number of times today. But like, it's just this indoctrination that happens so young for kids, and just all the messaging that they're getting is so messy. It doesn't feel great. This show's still on, right? Like kids
it's still running.
Yep,
they're making the movie's probably coming out this year. The radio show is still going.
Well, the radio show is spinning down. They are only going to be doing episodes online from here on.
It's still the show has moved online. It's still audio only.
Yep.
The original 1024-ish episodes are going to continue to cycle, but they will not be airing on the radio, the new episodes.
Yeah.
And another thing to remember is that this not only is just like indoctrination or whatever, if it was just entertainment, that's another problem because it's going straight to Focus on the Family, which is not an entertainment company. It's a political company. It is an activist organization that is all about reshaping society in its image.
Yeah. Legally, it's a church.
Legally, yes. Yeah. We've been talking about this a lot this week because, of course, the new Harry Potter TV series where he doesn't even have a visible scar got announced. And it's the same kind of thing. If you support this thing, if you're putting money into this thing, you're supporting a political apparatus. I think the news doesn't do a good job reporting this, where it's like, oh, their views are this, right? Focus on the Family does not like gay people. They say things. J.K. Rowling doesn't like trans people. She says things about them that are reprehensible. That's true. However, it's not the whole truth. When you're giving your money to this, when you as a kid are being raised into this extensive fandom, all of this money is being fed into an organization. Same with Harry Potter. All of that money is being fed to a person who is then feeding that money into her organizations that are going specifically after marginalized people based on sexuality, based on gender identity, based on any number of things that clash with their reprehensible right-wing view of society that they wish desperately to hold on to and assert their own power over.
Everything I do as a therapist, all of this contradicts it, right? Like all the messaging and all of the work I do with people is like, how can you trust yourself? How can you trust in your own strength? How can you reflect on things and come to your own evaluations about things? And it's okay to have feelings and all of this, right? And so it's amazing to me to see how early a lot of people are taught not to do that.
Well, and people can find you in one place and one place only, right?
One.
Not on your social media, but on your podcast.
Yes, I Hate James Dobson. And we are every other Monday, wherever you get your podcasts. And you can follow me on Storygraph if you want to see the books I'm reading. And that's it.
Please go listen to I Hate James Dobson. We have recommended them so many times on this show.
We are big fans.
We will also never stop doing so.
Actually, we talked about that I would be on here, and people are really, really excited about it.
The second that I heard that you hired an entire choir for
my
a
God.
surprise bit for Jake,
That's part of the Holy Bone special, right?
That entire Christmas special is one of the most amazing pieces of podcasting that has ever been made.
Podcasting, folks.
Oh, Jake was like in tears. It was really sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, speaking as people who will commit very sweatily to any bit whatsoever, we salute you.
Regardless of returns on those bits, we will commit to them.
You know, to that point, if you'd like to hear more of our bits, I've got great news for you.
Yeah, or see more of our bits.
You can. You can go to patreon.com/worstofall, where you will get access to our entire back catalog of premium episodes, which we do every other week. For a mere $5 a month, you can hear all of them. And for a mere $10 a month, you can even see us sometimes in our monthly Lads cast, where we just sort of shoot the shit about whatever's on our mind.
You won't see our bits. I was lying. You don't see our genitals.
I wasn't talking about our genitals, Brian.
I was talking about our genitals as a joke.
We have a Patreon too,
Nice.
and you can find
that's
it.
right.
Yeah, you can find it on the internet.
Great.
And
we'll link it below.
On Novacom for kids or zoog.disney.go.com.
And there's a $5 level and a $10 level, and things happen on it. And
that's all you know about it.
All right.
It looks like it's patreon.com/I Hate James Dobson. So there you go.
Because we are independent, we are commercial free,
That's true.
baby.
That's true.
Woo! You don't have to hear about ads from fake therapy apps
That's
that just
right.
overwork therapists to the holy bone.
That's right.
Instead, you get to hear me do a variety of silly voices.
That's right.
Yeah, let's do. Can we do really quick the way that we do it on I Hate James Dobson, where we summarize all the people we hate?
Oh yes.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, if you're comfortable with us doing your bit, let's do it. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay, I hate Lisa.
Oh, you heard it here. Brooke hates the blind.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I hate Bill Dab the shoe height. He seems like a dick.
Brian hates short people, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. I'm a regular Randy Newman.
Yeah.
I also hate Randy Newman.
I hate every member of the NVPD squad. All cops are bastards, including
Especially
the NVPD
those.
squad. Yes.
I hate John Avery Whitaker with every fiber of my being. That man should not be allowed anywhere near children, and yet somehow every week he is.
I hate all of the Zoogs except Cube. His whole thing is just that he's a cube.
Fuck off!
But here's two people from this collection of episodes that I like. One, Cunty Satan.
Yes.
I'm super into Cunty Satan.
We love Cunty Satan.
And the other one is Job's wife.
Let's give it up for Job's wife.
Let's give it up for Job's wife. I don't know. She just seems like a party.
Yeah.
I'd be into that. Yeah.
I wanted to end with a nice little treat for everyone before they go on their day. And so I happened to get John Avery Whitaker's response to seeing a hastily rendered sketch of Job's wife. And it sounds a little something like this.
Naked I came.
Oh.
I'm the worst of all possible AJs.
I'm the worst of all possible Brians.
And I'm the worst of all possible Joshes. See you next week.